Harness Racing Update covers the sport from all the angles, with news, opinion, features, photography, and the most comprehensive racing, breeding, and sales stories in the game from around the globe. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. Plus, HRU's popular Twos and Training series on YouTube gives you the first look at the stars of tomorrow. And the best news? It's all free. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com.
And a good morning from Woodbine Mohawk Park. A beautiful morning for baby races as we get settled in for weekend number 2 of the Rookie Showcase. And 2-year-old fillies take center stage here this morning. 18 degrees temperature, that temperature creeping up close to the 20-degree mark here as we near post time, which is pushed back a little bit this morning. More smoke in the area, but this time a fire in the vicinity, unfortunately, that caused a lot of smoke in the area. Just had to wait till that dissipated. It is a beautiful morning here now, so as we welcome you back trackside, Greg Blanchard, I've got Sugar Doyle here to start off the day with me, the voice of racing at Western Fair. Weekend number 2 of the Rookie Showcase. Great to have you joining us today on PrimeTime Racing. And we've got folks viewing in from all over the world, I'm sure, as we did last week. Kind of double the number of sugars we see. Last week we had 6 for the fillies, 6 events, 6 for the Pacers the next day. We're going to be basically double that today with 12 races, anticipating similar, maybe even more tomorrow.
Right on. It's a great looking lineup. I was counting the entries. 82 were listed to qualify this morning, Greg.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to be here at this time of year, and busy here, busy south of the border, other venues as well as they start to emerge, the rookies, and yesterday was no exception at Gateway. A busy morning and some head-turning efforts, a lot of them coming from one barn in particular, and that is that of Ron Burke. Not surprising, he had a real brigade of starters yesterday, and he won 11 of the 12 baby races contested, and some real head-turners among his group again.
Yeah, I was tuning in there, catching the replays last night. Fabulous show, and the flow was great. James Witherwright was calling the action. One that certainly caught many folks' eyes would be U-Brute.
Yeah, U-Brute, regally bred youngster. Tall Dark Stranger, one of 3 or 4, I believe, that Burke had from that stallion yesterday that won out of the world champion mare, Warrawee Butte, and he, kind of a unique looking individual, big powerhouse colt, and when Burke was quoted in the release afterward, that's one he mentioned as one that he was very impressed with.
Sure, he certainly caught my eye. A big fella too, home in 26 flat, long straightaway of course for that final quarter stretch.
So this morning, you know, we're going to see lots of our own local guys pretty busy on the program as well. Blake McIntosh was certainly the busiest last weekend. I think he had 28 over the 2 days. Really incredible when you think about it. And you got to have good staff, right, to be able to handle that workload.
You know what? Real busy weekend for him. Not alone just qualifying, but even a busy weekend of racing. So for him and his team, yeah, long hours, but hopefully all worth it for them throughout the summer months.
Yeah, and so we're going to see today. It's a lot of fun because we're going to see a lot of them coming back. Ones that we got a glimpse of last week. Sprinkle in some new faces, and you know, of course, we'll be watching the ones that are coming back for qualifier number 2 to see who can take a step forward. Some of them were winners last week. They'll just be looking to maybe come back and win again, maybe lower their time. Others are maybe were handled conservatively last week, and they'll look for a little bit more. Going back to last week, I'll maybe put you on the spot a little bit. Were there a few that few that caught your eye last week? I know you were watching closely, and was there one or two that really jumped off the page at you?
You know what? Going back, my memory's not so good. I can remember things from years ago, but last week, watching a bunch from Gateway yesterday, the mind, it doesn't hold on to recent stuff.
There's so many of them.
Exactly. There is so many. And I mean, like I said, 82 this morning. It's incredible how many rookies are ready to go this early in the season.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to see this morning a host of barns that are going to be quite prominent. Again, we talked about Blake McIntosh, how busy he was last week. He'll be busy again today. 14 starters during the morning session with 12 races in total. Anthony Beaton, another guy that's going to be quite busy. I believe he's got 10 starters coming up here this morning as well. Some incredible pedigree potential we're going to be looking at too.
Just comes to me. You know, you mentioned, is there one that stuck out, or is there one that popped? There was one. Now that it comes back to me, you know.
Just needed a little more time.
Exactly. There was a big 2-year-old son of American Ideal that went out for trainer Blake McIntosh. James McDonald was on board, and I remember being down in Truro for a banquet earlier this season and sitting down with a gentleman that put the early foundation into that when Emmons McKay was very high on this son of American Ideal.
Yeah, and Ozzy's back here this morning, of course, and he says that colt will be back out here tomorrow morning,
okay.
So we'll look forward to seeing him, and he's got a bunch of fillies in action here this morning as well. We're going to get to the field here for the opener shortly as well. We want to welcome everybody tuning in here this morning from across North America, as mentioned on our various different platforms. Love to hear where you are tuning in from. It's amazing to see, how far and wide viewership is for the baby races on days like this. So, yeah, let us know where you are tuning in from. We'll try and give you a shout out during the coverage here this morning as well. 12 races, as mentioned. We'll run off the first 6. We'll take a bit of a break, give the later horses a chance to warm up, and come back later. We'll have a couple of special guests joining us this morning as well. We're going to hear from Pat Woods a little bit later. Of course, Canadian manager of the Canadian, arm of Winback Farm. And I know they've got several offspring going out here this morning. So an exciting time, right, for the local breeders on days like this.
100%. Myself and part of our racing team, Amy O'Toole, we paid a visit to Winback Farm, Pat Woods, last summer. Just a beautiful spot, and you know what, to get out in the field with their babies, the young ones, and then to see them maybe qualifying here. Quite a few of those Winback breds are going to be in action here this morning. It's wonderful to see the babies getting to hopefully the races at some point in the weeks ahead.
Yeah, because they remember these horses from the time they're born, and they're following them all the way through till the time they get onto the racetrack, and they're in the winner's circle and some of the sports marquee events. Speaking of that, let's go back to yesterday's. There was a horse you and I were both, anxious to watch. His name is Stonebridge Boy Toy.
Oh yeah.
So again, when we were a couple of seasons ago, we took a visit to Stonebridge Farm.
Oh.
This guy, a weanling at the time.
Yeah.
And we remember him being out in the paddock, and on the way in the car afterwards, we both said, that guy really stood out from the crowd, and he was a $150,000 yearling purchase yesterday. So to watch him in the race bike yesterday, it was pretty interesting, and what a specimen he is.
Amazing, and I remember that 2 years ago being in the field with this one. He certainly stood out from the rest. He was almost looking like a yearling at that point. He was so tall, and we thought, wow, if he makes the races, going to be one big colt. And to get a look at him yesterday, yes, indeed, big colt. I believe he was 4th and finishing right there with him. Wonderful to see them grow in the months, and now it's 2 years later, and here he is on the racetrack, set to be a racehorse.
Yeah, for sure. So we're again glad to have you with us here this morning. Exciting to see what week number 2 of the baby race is going to bring. The man who's going to call the action here today, he's up in the booth here this morning, but we're going to bring him in for his thoughts Mark McKelvey, hope you're well rested up there, Mark, and ready to go. It's going to be another busy one for you.
It certainly is. You're right about that. 12 today. We'll see how many there are tomorrow. We'll know that probably before we even get done today's qualifiers, and then the big weekend here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. And looking forward to Saturday night. I know you guys are as well, but this is the time of the year that you don't mind some of those long days and those long hours, because it is a lot of fun. If you're just a big-time fan of racing, it doesn't really get too much better than this. But you already guys were talking about off the top, the ones that we did see last week. Curious to see what they'll do here today. And in that first qualifier, number 7, Play Something Sweet, is one that was a winner last week. So, I mean, there's one that already has got the job done, went 2 minutes and 4/5. Expect that time to drop today. The conditions look pretty nice here right now, too. And that's something that last week they weren't too bad either for the 2 days. So we're kind of getting fortunate that way. And it also looks like the forecast has shifted a bit for this Saturday night, which something I was keeping an eye on, but trying not to put too much stress on it because it didn't look too good. Now it's looking all right. A fun weekend, guys, and thanks for being in here today, Sugar. Glad to have you on the desk. I'm up top today, so I'll have maybe I guess a little bit of a better vantage point than calling them from down below, but it's a lot of fun being down there right in the midst of the action.
Right on. One of the best seats in the house there, Mark. Enjoy your morning with the qualifiers, and yeah, nice to be here on the desk with Greg.
All right, and there's a look at the field for qualifier number 1 here this morning. As Mark mentioned, yeah, it's Pepsi North America Cup weekend, so this is the place to be. Of course, today, tomorrow, baby races. We've got a card tomorrow night. First pari-mutuel event for 2-year-olds scheduled tomorrow night. They drew a field of 7. 7 of them that did qualify here a week ago. And then, of course, the main event Saturday night, 13 race spectacular, the Pepsi North America Cup, the headliner, and a great undercard as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, let's hope this good weather continues. The forecast looking much more promising as we look ahead to that. But a very nice morning for baby races here today at Woodbine Mohawk Park. And we've got a field of 7 on the pace here in the opening group. So we'll get some shots from inside the paddock here shortly. Some of the starters just moments away from heading back to the racetrack. And Sugar, I'll say like at this time of year, we mentioned some of the people that are busy. It's interesting, isn't it? Certain stables, are ready to go right off the bat. Others, you see them come a little bit later. They just have a little bit of a different program, so we have the familiar faces that we're used to seeing year in, year out at this time of year.
Yeah, and you know what? You see Jameson gonna have a 2-year-old out here for a back-to-back qualifiers, and the Jameson camp usually busy. McIntosh usually busy. You know what? Later on in the season, I don't mind a late 2-year-old starting up late in the season. Might need some growth development or what have you, but it's just an exciting time for all involved in the sport of harness racing.
Yeah, for sure. Like we were saying last week, if you see them in to go here right off the bat, the first week or two, it just tells you that the training down process was probably a pretty smooth one for that particular colt. Because if there are bumps along the way, then their schedule gets set back. They're likely not going to make that first one, and guys aren't going to be pushing them, of course, to get there. So they kind of let them dictate their own schedule. So let's meet the field here for qualifier number 1. 7 of them scheduled to go postward in this contest. There's a look at the one that's American Shine, an American Ideal filly. This the sister to Sterling Choice. Doesn't quite look the same though. Different color.
Right on, the gray Sterling Choice.
Lavender Sealster, number 2 in the field. This one, a Century Pharaoh. So we're going to get our first look at Century Pharaoh offspring here today. First crop stallion. We're going to see 2 on the program this morning. And this one, a daughter of La Capella, Sweet Lou mare. Second foal from the dam, and a sister to 5. She a sister to 5 $250,000 winner. So great family for La Capella here. This one a $30,000 graduate of the London Classic yearling sale. Do you remember the Century Pharaohs last year from the sales ring in London? They were, I recall they were all good-looking youngsters.
Well, I remember being at Winback Farm to get a look in person at Century Pharaoh standing in the cross ties even. Maybe he's passed down some of his look. Just a fabulous-looking stallion.
Here's a look at Jody Jameson in the driver's seat here as well. Behind the 7, play something sweet. There is Lavender Sealster coming back. And daughter of Century Pharaoh, just undergoing some last-minute equipment adjustments here. Louis Philippe-Bois will be in the driver's seat in here. John Pentland, trainer stable down in the Dorchester area. He's got one here. That is a Winback Farm bred, McBubbles, 4th foal of the dam Lady Bubbles, and she's produced a couple of winners so far. $12,000 Harrisburg purchase here, maybe a bargain basement price. Team McNair sends out Romantic Beauty, Better's Delight filly here, daughter of Precious Beauty. Quite a producer here, quite a family. This one a sibling, of course, to the former NA Cup winner, sports writer, and many others.
Yeah, my program here, Greg, it's not marked up like yours is, but one thing I did highlight was the mare Precious Beauty for this Romantic Beauty going out, as we mentioned, for Team McNair. And McNair had a few over at Grand River Raceway last evening qualifying as well. And you know what? They appeared good to go last evening over Grand River Raceway, finishing 1-2. I believe Doug was on the winner. Chris Matthews was on the second one. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see this daughter of Precious Beauty, number 6, Romantic Beauty.
All right, starting gate rolling. Qualifier number 1. First of 12 this morning. It's the fillies in action. Both trotters and pacers this morning. It's a pacing group to kick us off. And once again, Mark McKelvey will have your call.
2-year-old pacing fillies for our first qualifier are lining on up. Number 1 is American Shine. This is a daughter of American Ideal, trained by Blake McIntosh. Tyler Borth on the bike. Was a $40,000 U.S. Lexington Select grad. 2 is Lavender Sealster. It's Louis Waugh for trainer Dr. Ian Moore. Century Pharaoh filly. Graduate of the London Classic for $30,000. Number 3, Mick Bubbles. This is a daughter of Mick Wicked. Out of the Harrisburg sale, $12,000 graduate of that sale. John Pentland trains. Bob McClure drives. 4 is Jalapeno Cheddar, better than Cheddar filly. Anthony Beaton trains. Jonathan Drury will steer. 5 is LD's Gina. Pappy Rob Hanover filly. James McDonald for Beaton. This one out of the Lexington Select sale, $60,000 U.S. 6 is Romantic Beauty. Better's Delight filly. Greg McNair trains. Doug McNair drives. And 7 is Play Something. 7 for our first qualifier on this Thursday morning from Woodbine Mohawk Park. Here they come. And they're off and pacing away well from the inside is American Shine. Crossing on over is Play Something Sweet as she's pointed out to the lead. Romantic Beauty gets away in 3rd. Lavender Sealster is in 4th. LD's Gina, so that one's outside, is landing in 5th. 6th in the early goings, McBubbles, and then Jalapeno Cheddar will see them all. Heading to the opening quarter, Play Something Sweet, the daughter of Cattle Wash. Leads it here for Jameson. She was a winner in her debut a week ago. She's doing the road work here. The opening quarter was up in 30-3. Off a 30-3 opening split here, the leader is Play Something Sweet. Play Something Sweet stopped the clock in 2 minutes and 4/5 the first time around. Leads it by a length and a half, and out from second, American Shine. Heard the footsteps of Lavender Sealster, so loops around. Lavender Sealster will stay on the outside for the time being, making this second quarter move to the lead for Waugh. It's Lavender Sealster up to clear now on American Shine. Early leader Play Something Sweet's now back to 3rd. Then racing in 4th is Romantic Beauty. 5th you'll find LD's Gina, followed by McBubbles, and then rounding things out is Jalapeno Cheddar. The half was 1 minute and 2/5, and they're on to the far turn. Lavender Sealster leads the way. 2nd is American Shine, so right back in the 2-hole. 3rd is Play Something Sweet. 2 lengths going back to Romantic Beauty. Up on that one's helmet in 5th is LD's Gina. Then it's 4 lengths going back to McBubbles, and trailing that one is Jalapeno Cheddar. 3/4 is hit in 1:29 and 3. They stepped it up there D9 and 1 in the third quarter. Lavender Sealster is into the lane, and Lavender Sealster, the daughter of Century Pharaoh, trying to win her qualifying debut. Rail opens up now for American Shine, and she's getting a bit closer. Play Something Sweet stays at the inside, and then fourth is Romantic Beauty. American Shine up the inside, challenging Lavender Sealster. Lavender Sealster still holding on. Lavender Sealster by a neck. Finishing in second was American Shine. Play Something Sweet was third, and Romantic Beauty was fourth. 157-1, 27-3 on the end. The winner, Lavender Sealster.
Impressive effort to kick us off here this morning. Dr. Ian Moore just walked by there. He's all smiles, of course, and Lavender Sealster getting it done. We talked about it, a couple today from the first crop of Century Pharaoh, and Ian knows him well. Campaigned the horse who was a top-level performer, winner of $1.5 million, and this filly, what I liked, Sugar, and you can comment on this, was the fact that she drifted a little bit in the stretch and whatever caused that, but she did not want to get past, did she? She fought back.
Right on. Drifted a bit, and I thought, okay, is this filly maybe beginning to wander here? But no, she was all business, and indeed had a little fight on the end. I kept thinking, this one, American Shine, going to push on through. It wasn't going to happen, though. I like that. She learned lots already.
So, yeah, Century Pharaoh clicking right off the bat here. Of course, now standing at Sealster Farm. You got a little bit confused. You said it was the one you saw was a Sealster bred Lawless Shadow, who now stands at Winback.
Right, that's how my mind works sometimes. My mind wanders like that filly. I thought she was gonna, but yeah, I'll wander much faster than that filly ever would in the first race.
And there she is, just kind of a nice sized filly, not too big, but kind of long-legged, right, for a filly of her stature, and all business, as you said.
Yeah, you know, slick gated too, and yeah, I like the fact that she wasn't giving in. I mean, a little bit of fight on the end. First time going behind a gate here at the big track at Woodbine Mohawk Park. I love what I see with that filly.
There's a look at the fractional times in there as well. Back half 56-4, 27-3 final quarter to polish things off here this morning. Lavender Sealster getting it done. The Dr. Ian Moore trainee, again, a $30,000 purchase from the London Classic yearling sale last season. Get a look at them coming off the track here for qualifier number 1, their first of 12 here this morning.
Saw something I liked right off the bat in that start of race number 1 of 12 for the 2-year-olds here. Play Something Sweet. Really nice gate push from that one, and that was making the second qualifying go. As a player, I don't mind seeing a couple of lines on a 2-year-old making their career debuts.
All righty, so a good-looking group here to kick us off here this morning, and there is the winner. Returning her name again is Lavender Sealster. That might be a name you hear more from as the season wears on. We'll take our first commercial break, and we'll be back with more of the Rookie Showcase next from Woodbine Mohawk Park.
Winback Farm of Ontario is home to outstanding sires, including a 3-time millionaire pacer tattoo artist who is new in 2025, the last great son of the legendary Sub Beach Somewhere and multiple stakes champion Beachglass, Meadowlands Pace and Ontario Sire Stakes champion Lawless Shadow, and the richest pacing stallion in all of harness racing history, the great Hall of Famer Mick Wicked. Also standing at Winback Farm, Archangel, Better Than Cheddar, Betting Line by MVP and Trixton. For more information, visit winbackfarm.com.
Preferred Equine Online has proven time and time again to be the industry's online provider, selling the highest priced horses in all categories online, including racehorses, broodmares, yearlings, weanlings, and stallion shares. Full service, trusted and transparent. Contact Preferred for your online sales needs at www.preferredequineonline.com or call 914-773-7777.
Welcome back. You're watching Primetime Racing's Rookie Showcase. coverage of the baby races this morning from Woodbine at Mohawk Park. So Century Pharaoh, we talked about it. We're going to see the first couple from this stallion competing this morning. We saw one in race number 1 come back a winner. Her name, Lavender Sealster. And for those who remember, Century Pharaoh, of course, was a great horse on the racetrack. Dr. Ian Moore, who does train Lavender Sealster, campaigned this guy, career winner of more than $1.5 million. Among his victories, a Breeders' Crown title. He won a division of the Sun Beach Somewhere Stake, and a Dan Patch is an older horse at Hoosier Park. I looked back through his lines last night. I think 2 or 3 of his significant stakes victories came over the big track at Hoosier Park, and early indications are that he's going to pass on his talent. He's done that at least with one filly that we have seen so far. We'll turn our attention to group number 2 coming out onto the racetrack as we switch gears and we're on the trot. I want to take a quick moment again and thank all of our wonderful sponsors who helped make this coverage possible here this morning. And again, we could not be able to put this coverage on without them, and there they are at the bottom of the screen. Of course, Harness Racing Update, the London Classic Yearling Sales, Sealster Farms, who've already seen a winner from their operation this morning in Lavender Sealster, Winback Farm, and we'll have Pat Woods of Winback Farm Canada on with us in a little while. Of course, Hanover Shoe Farms, Twinbrook, Tara Hills Stud, Preferred Equine Online, and Hembo 100, yes, 100th anniversary of the Hambletonian this year. Big thank you to all of our valued sponsors for making this coverage possible. We're on the trot here, and there's Time Will Envy. It's going to be Gino Toscani on board this one, a Green Mantle Leashy, $12,000 yearling purchase. We saw Tyler Borth a moment ago. Good opportunity for Tyler, who's really made a mark for himself. Sugar, you know him well. He was kingpin, longtime kingpin at Western Fair. Still see him there throughout the season, but now making his mark here and picking up a lot of driving assignments on these potential stakes stars.
Yeah, certainly Tyler Borth doing it well here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Someone asked me earlier this morning, does Tyler still make it to London now and then? I said he sure does, and when he does show up, it's usually 3 or 4 wins on the card.
So he'll be on board the 2 here. Pretty nice. He's got a pretty nice filly of his own, Sprite Sealster. He and partner Katie McNeil campaigned that one, and a gold winner here recently.
Very nice, very nice. And the Sealsters, right? They keep on doing it well in tracks in Ontario and elsewhere.
They're Stonebridge Chips, product of Stonebridge Farms down in Arva, down in the London area as well. This one looks like a Chippendale, a sibling to Stonebridge Bravo, a $300,000 career winner with a mark of 52-2. Stonebridge Chips, product of the London Classic sale, a $30,000 purchase from last year. There's a few of them in here that are coming back after qualifying a week ago, and among them, the Blake McIntosh trained Ms. Miracle, who was a winner last week at 59-4, won rather handily. So what would you expect we're going to see here in week number 2 from one like that?
Well, just kind of maybe try a helmet this time. I don't know. She's loose on the lead there last time out. Was on top by 5-7 lengths throughout and never faced a challenger. So maybe they want to keep her a little closer to the competition. Maybe teach her a few things about having a horse maybe come up to her or even follow one.
A couple of others that did compete a week ago, both qualified well. Massive Victory, the 4 in here, Muscle Mass filly, and Blue Rare, number 7, another daughter of Muscle Mass. They were both third place efforts from a week ago, so it'll be interesting to see if both of those can step up a little bit here today in the time department, and then a bunch of first timers in here as well. Pretty intriguing group. Massive Victory, one of the ones we touched on, the mare Vicky. She's by Fox Valley Victor, and a $712,000 winner herself. and has produced a couple of winners of 150K or more. So there's a lot of pedigree potential here on the 4 Massive Victory. Third a week ago. Try and step up a little bit here today. Nice looking group of trotters taking up their positions. Back up to the booth, and Mark McKelvey with the call.
Thank you very much, Greg. We're set now for our second qualifier. Green Manalishi filly Timel Envy is the 1. Harrisburg Purchase, $12,000. Gino Toscani for Desiree Jones. 2 is Wish Upon a Star Deo. Tyler Borth for Susie Kerwood. This is a daughter of 6 Pack. A Lexington Select Purchase for $17,000 US. 3 Cupid Hall, Muscle Mass filly. Rick Zeron trains and drives. Lexington Select. Massive Victory. Billy Davis for Blake McIntosh. Muscle Mass filly out of the Harrisburg sale, $20,000. Next up, we will meet Ms. Miracle, Lexington Select, $25,000 US. Green Manalishi filly, Jody Jameson for Blake McIntosh. 6 is Stonebridge Chips. It's Doug McNair driving for Greg McNair. Looks like a Chippendale filly. London Classic buy, $30,000. And the last one's Blue Rare, Muscle Mass filly, Lexington Select grad, $32,000. And it is James McDonald for Dominic Ledoux. Here they come for the second qualifier. And off and trotting, Massive Victory shoots out along with Ms. Miracle, and Ms. Miracle is stepping out to the lead once again. Stonebridge Chips is showing some good trot in the opening 8th and marches up into 3rd. Wish Upon a Star Deo is getting away in 4th. The others are going to sort things out. They'll line up Timel Envy from Cupid Hall and Blue Rare. Ms. Miracle right back to where she was last week. She'll lead them to the opening quarter, and it's up in a quick 28-4. 28-4 was the opening panel here for this 2-year-old filly, Ms. Miracle. She trots them into the backstretch clear by 2 lengths. In second is Massive Victory. Then third in line is Stonebridge Chips. We're going back to Wish Upon a Star Deo in 4th. Blue Rare is then racing, or Timel Envy is then racing in 5th. 6th is Cupid Hall, and 7th, that's going to be Blue Rare. Ms. Miracle doing the road work once again. This time, though, she's got some company only 2 lengths away as they were by the half in 58-4. 30 seconds in the second quarter. It is Ms. Miracle, the daughter of Green Manalishi, leading it. Massive Victory, the stablemate's been trying to keep up in second. Stonebridge Chips right behind that one in 3rd, and then it is a break of about 10 lengths going back to Wish Upon a Star Deo. On the outside is Timel Envy. Inside 6th is Cupid Hall, and Blue Rare is the trailer in 7th. To 3 quarters, Ms. Miracle still up top by a pair, 128. 9-4, they're into the stretch, and it is Ms. Miracle starting to get away now on her stablemate Massive Victory. Stonebridge Chips came off that one's back and is trying to edge forward into second. Ms. Miracle, though, still untouched, and she has a 16th of a mile to go. Massive Victory in second. Stonebridge Chips on the outside, plugging away. She's almost up there for second. They're getting a little closer late at Ms. Miracle, but once again, she goes coast to coast. Stonebridge Chips was second. Massive Victory was 3rd, and 4th was Wish Upon a Star Deo, 159-1 for Ms. Miracle.
Well, kind of like deja vu from a week ago. Ms. Miracle, once again, put on the front and goes all the way and does it fairly easily at 59-1. Blake McIntosh, trained pupil. Jody Jameson driving. A daughter of Green Manalishi from the father, Patrick Mayer. Confession Session. Bred by Glengate Farms. Ms. Miracle now 2 for 2 in qualifying action. And we're of that age, Sugar, where we remember 2-year-olds and breaking them down, getting them to the racetrack, especially trotters. Yeah. That they just, back in our day, just didn't look quite this good this early.
I can go back to those early 80s when 216 over a maritime track for a 2-year-old trotter would be a big trip.
And yeah, they just they come to the track and they're ready to go, and look at the beautiful gates that they have. And you know, Ms. Miracle, we kind of get an indication a week ago of what she's all about. Stonebridge Chips, on the other hand, was one of the new faces here this morning, and she's a lapped on second. Had to be impressed with her initial trip behind the gate.
Indeed, stayed close and a nice push on the end to try to get closer to this Ms. Miracle. Ms. Miracle, though, she's so long and such a big reach on her stride. I love the way she goes, but Stonebridge Chips, a very nice debut there to be in the top 3. Even Massive Victory was staying close there. So I kind of had it wrong. I thought Ms. Miracle might try for a helmet, but she's just too good too early in the mile that she had to stride out. And again, she floats along so nice.
And they were gaining on her at the end. It was a slowing final quarter, 30-3. But I mean, how much do you think that was her maybe getting a little tired, or just green and looking for a bit of company and wondering, what am I supposed to do now?
You know what? I'm thinking maybe just a little disinterested, like where am I going to face a challenger? When am I going to face a challenger? Maybe it's going to be in her mutual debut.
That's how I saw it as well. We'll find out when she does face the starting gate, but no question she's ready to rock. And Blake McIntosh, he might have another good-looking daughter of Green Manalishi on his hands. We know, of course, what he's done with Monalishi.
Indeed, he does a heck of a job with his trotters and pacers, and indeed, looks like he has a pretty good one there. And the daughter of Green Manalishi, Ms. Miracle, a long filly that reaches out. Very nice.
Impressive group of trotters. First look at the trotters here this morning from Woodbine Mohawk Park. We'll take another break. Be back with more of the Rookie Showcase next.
O'Brien Award Breeder of the Year, Tara Hills, is home to harness racing's most exciting young stallions. Green Manalishi's first crop has taken Ontario and the Grand Circuit by storm. It includes Peaceful Way winner Monalishi. World champion Cattle Wash has seen multiple New Jersey Sire Stake winners from his first crop, including final winning filly Reckless Abandon. His 2024 yearlings are eligible to the Ontario Sire Stakes. Don't miss your chance to buy one of their sons or daughters this fall. For more, visit terrahills.com.
I'm awfully glad I won.
The Hamiltonian, it's one of the most prestigious races. It's quite a thrill. It's one of the biggest thrills of my life.
We delivered. The horse delivered. It was amazing. I can't believe it.
I am stunned. I'm absolutely stunned.
This is obviously the pinnacle.
Just something that I can't explain.
This is just an absolute dream come true.
It feels good now, but I'm sure it's going to feel even better tomorrow.
For me to do it, this is my moment.
I might have got a little excited.
And welcome back. There's a look at the scene from Woodbine Mohawk Park here this morning. So we welcome you back to the Rookie Showcase. Great to have everybody tuning in on our various platforms. Right now we want to welcome in Pat Woods, farm manager of the Canadian farm for Winback Farm. And you guys will be very prominent here this morning, Pat. And I know this is an exciting time of year for you, right? Not only yourself, but I'm sure your entire team.
Absolutely. For us, this is where, all of our hard work kind of comes to fruition. We've worked with these babies, foaled them out, got them to a sale, been in the trainer's hands, and now we get to see what the hard work has done.
Yeah, for
sure. And, there's a lot here. I think we've got 13 that are Winback breds in here. And then there's also some of ours that we've raised for clients as well.
Winback's, I think, a pretty unique operation when you think about standardbred breeding farms in North America. Maybe just describe the overall operation of Winback.
So we have the 4 farms. There's the main farm, Winback, Maryland. We've got a farm in New York, the operation up here in Ontario, and we also have a stallion station in Delaware. So for the most part, the majority of stuff is raised at the main farm, but we have a bunch up here. I've got about 170 horses on the property up here at the old Armstrong Brothers farm. And then in New York as well, they stand stallions.
And you mentioned being the old Armstrong Brothers farm. For you guys, operating there, there's got to be that almost that aura of greatness that comes on that property when you think back over the years, and that's got to trickle down a little bit to your operation?
Absolutely. Like, I grew up here in Ontario. The Armbro name was what everybody strived for. They had a great operation, always raised top-notch horses, raced them, stood them. So to be at that farm for me is pretty special. And, you know, we do take pride in carrying on that name and trying to have the good product to have to sell.
So we're seeing the Winback name. It'll be dotted all over this morning's qualifying session. You've got a connection here to a couple in this spot. I want to ask you about I'm with Poppy, the number 2 in here, Poppy Rob Hanover filly. Sister to one that you're pretty excited about adding to your roster.
Yeah, when we landed Beach Class as a Stallion, we were really happy. He's a very good-looking horse, a great race horse, and we've got babies on the ground this year, and they're actually exceeding what we thought they would look like. They've been outstanding. We're really happy and extremely. A lot of promise is attached with this, so I've got a close eye on this 2-horse in this race for sure.
And is it too early to tell at this point as far as, like, is he putting a stamp on his youngsters that you can notice?
Yeah, and it's not just our farm. I'm hearing it from other farms. They're very athletic looking. People are got a lot of promise behind them. Like, when they look the part, it's usually a very good sign.
Yeah. And you raised another one in this group as well, correct?
Yeah, both the 1 and 3 were both born at the farm for our clients, both raised there. They probably were raised in the same paddock together. And then they would have gone to their trainers, you know, Jacques and Gabby.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, well, listen, we're going to throw it up to Mark. Stick around. We'll chat more with you after this one. But it's qualifier number 3, Mark McKelvey. Back up to you.
Getting set for this third qualifier as we have got 2-year-old pacing fillies. One is CJ Desby, Better's Delight filly. Jacques Dupont trains. J.R. Plant will drive. Number 2 is I'm with Poppy, a Poppy Rob Hanover filly by Dr. Ian Moore drives. 3 is Chargin' Patricia, sports writer filly. Gabby Sasso trains Bob McClure in the bike. 4 is Parisian Chic, Better's Delight filly. Tony Beaton trains. James McDonald will steer. This one was a $50,000 Harrisburg buy. Next up is the 5, Chickenery. Dan Legacy trains. Louis Waugh drives a Cattle Wash filly. And 6 is Cleo Panther, Panther Hanover filly. Gary Hodgson, the trainer. Tyler Borth does the driving. A field of 6, 2-year-old pacing fillies for the third. Starting gate to the top of the stretch, a field of 6, 2-year-old pacing fillies, qualifier number 3. Here they come. And the Raw-Fan pacing. Chicanery is coming away well down the center of the track. Splitting between rivals is Chargin' Patricia. Then on the outside is going to be Cleo Panther. Between horses, Parisian Chic gets away in 4th. Rail starter CJ Desby is then in 5th. And 6th is going to be I'm with Poppy. Cleo Panther is looking to work around to the lead and clears as they drive into the first turn. Chicanery's in 2nd. Then in 3rd, you're going to find Chargin' Patricia, followed 4th by Parisian Chic. Then it is back to CJ Desby. And the last one is I'm with Poppy. 30-4 was the opening quarter. Pacing fillies exit the first turn. A 2-length leader is the daughter of Panther Hanover, Cleo Panther. Second qualifier for her, and they're going to switch up the tactics today as she will show the way. Sat 3rd throughout the mile in her qualifying debut before kicking home in 27-2. So doing the road work for Borth. Following in 2nd is Chicanery. Then in 3rd is Chargin' Patricia. 4th, that is going to be Parisian Chic. Followed 5th by CJ Desby. 2 lengths back to I'm with Poppy. They were by the half in a minute and 4/5. Second quarter was paced in 30 seconds even. No change in order here as they are spaced out about 2 lengths or so between almost all of them. And up front now getting the separation is Cleo Panther by 3. Second is Chicanery. Then we're 3.5 lengths back to Chargin' Patricia in 3rd. 4th is Parisian Chic, followed 5th by CJ Desby. On the outside, I'm with Poppy is ready to go from the back, but Cleo Panther is up top by 3/4 in 129-3. So she picked it up there, 28-4. in the third quarter, and it's Cleo Panther into the straightaway. She's destined for home. The only one that could get to her is Chicanery, but that one's got to make up 4 lengths at the 8th pole. Then we are well back to CJ Desby, who's now moved into third. Outside is I'm with Poppy. As we come into deep stretch, it's Cleo Panther. She finished up well last week, and here today she goes coast to coast. Cleo Panther to take it. Chicanery 2.5 lengths back in second. I'm with Poppy up for third from CJ Desby in fourth. 157-4 for Cleo Panther.
Cleo Panther, who finished third a week ago in her first qualifying effort, steps up with a winning trip here this morning. 57-4, 57 seconds.
Come into deep stretch.
And was put right on the engine here. Tyler Borth confident that the filly would have taken something away from last week's effort and was ready to rock here today. Chicanery in for her first qualifier this morning, daughter of Cattle Wash. Second, Cattle Wash out of Always Bay Dale. She was a sibling to, or is a sibling to, the great I Love the Nightlife and the fast De Los Cielos Dale. And that's her first foal and a good runner-up effort this morning. And the aforementioned I'm with Poppy, who we spoke about, was third in that effort here this morning. There is Cleo Panther. She's a daughter of Panther Hanover from a big Jim mare named I'm Stunning. And this one was bred by Cynthia Graham and Matthew Stryker of Moncton, Ontario, and Gary Hodgson of London owns and does the training. And looks like Gary's got a nice filly on his hands here. And Panther Hanover from a limited number of offspring has certainly produced some good-looking individuals. And here's another one, Cleo Panther. Qualifier number 2 for that one, and victorious this morning in 57-4. Making their way back now, and again, we're here with Pat Woods of Winback Farm, chatting a little bit about, of course, this morning and just this time of year in general. You guys have a little extra excitement this weekend. Of course, it's Pepsi NA Cup weekend. Part of the undercard's the Mohawk Gold Cup. And a horse that Winback just purchased an ownership stake in, the great Nijinsky, former NA Cup winner himself. How pumped are you guys to watch him in action tomorrow night?
Anytime you can be involved with a horse as good as Nijinsky, there's a lot of excitement around that. The opportunity presented itself to Joe Thompson. He jumped on it to get a caliber of that horse. You know, at this earliest stage, trying to land stallions is a difficult challenge. For us, there's a lot of farms that go after these horses, so to land somebody like him is huge in our business.
Yeah, you talked about Beach Class, new to your operation, Lawless Shadow. We're going to see his first crop, I guess, next or this fall as well.
Yep.
Selling. And then you've got another familiar face back in the fold here, Tattoo Artist.
Yep, and Tattoo Artist, he bred one season down in New Jersey, and now he's back here in Ontario. We're real happy to have him. He was great here in Ontario and really good as an aged horse. For me, he's got a good book of mares. He's got some really classy mares being bred to them. I know Southwind Temple's on that list. Sunny D,
wow,
another great Ontario mare.
Yep.
She's got a foal by him on the ground right now at the farm, and she's being bred back to him.
Okay, let's take another quick commercial break. We'll be back to chat with Pat and get a look at the fillies for qualifier number 4 next.
All sports dynasties share one thing.
Home run! Another world championship!
They dominate. Hanover Shoe Farms, the most successful breeder of Hambletonian champions, producing an impressive total of 11 winners, has dominated the race. Purchase Hanover yearlings at Harrisburg. Hanover Shoe Farms, a standard bred dynasty.
It doesn't get any better than that! Wow!
Winback Farm Farm of Ontario is home to outstanding sires, including three-time millionaire pacer tattoo artist who is new in 2025, the last great son of the legendary Sub Beach Somewhere and multiple stakes champion Beach Glass, Meadowlands Pace and Ontario Sire Stakes champion Lawless Shadow, and the richest pacing stallion in all of harness racing history, the great Hall of Famer Mick Wicked. Also standing at Winbank Farm, Archangel, Better Than Cheddar, Betting Line by MVP and Trixton. For more information, visit winbackfarm.com.
Welcome back to Woodbine Mohawk Park. I'm here with Pat Woods of Winback Farm, just chatting a little bit about this morning, of course, and what's going on at the farm. Just during the break, you were talking about the change you notice in some of the stallions when they come into the barn, when they come off the racetrack, and once they're in the barn for a while, they can really change physically.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, that's one of the things we really noticed with Beach Glass is he matured. His muscle in his shoulders, his back end, thickened out. And it's funny, when we see his babies this year, you notice a lot of those characteristics in his babies. They're very athletic looking. He's putting a really good back end, which I always find to be a good thing when you're talking about, yearlings.
Yeah. So, Nijinsky competing in the Mohawk Gold Cup tomorrow night. A number of Winback breds will be competing on the undercard. So what will the atmosphere be like for the team tomorrow? Do you have some kind of a watch party going on anywhere?
So we've got our general manager and yearling manager are flying up just for the race Saturday night. My team's going to be here. They're actually bringing a mare and foal here to the racetrack. People are going to get to see them, and we're doing a Name the Foal contest where they can submit their entries. The mare's name is Bikini Genie, and she has a Better Than Cheddar filly on her side. That'll be here, so think of good names, and they can submit them, and there'll be a prize pack that goes along with it.
And, when you think of farms like yours, and there's so many big commercial breeders here in Ontario, of course, and there's no real downtime, is there? There's different stages of the year and busy time. So what would be happening now as you're starting to think ahead, of course, this fall and another set of yearling sales?
Yeah, so right now it's just sort of the end of breeding season. I'm done foaling out up here. I think there's 3 or 4 more to be foaled out down at the Maryland farm. We'll be finishing out our breeding season, and then it's, doing hay and straw, getting everything caught up. And then we're right into yearling prep at the end of the summer and into the sales.
Tell us, maybe just while we have a moment, a little bit of the behind the scenes, like, in prepping a yearling, what are some of the fundamentals? What are some of the most important things?
Like, the biggest thing is making sure that they have the proper weight and conditioning. Usually, they go on the equisizer, time in the paddock, and just feeding them correctly, and then they have to have time grooming, being cross-tied. They have to be able to pick up their feet. They need to be sensible when they go to these sales and when the trainers get them home. So there's a lot of man hours that go into it.
Well, listen, Pat, we want to thank you for taking a few minutes to join us here this morning. And, good luck with everything this weekend. It's going to be an exciting one for you and the team at Winback.
Yeah, it should be a great time, and I appreciate it. Thanks.
Awesome. The starting gate getting set to go here with the next group of qualifiers. We are back on the trot for this one. And we're going to look at the full field of 8 getting set to go here. Once again, we're going to head upstairs, catch up with Mark McKelvey. And Mark, it's been a real interesting morning again so far.
All right, qualifier number 4. Thanks so much, Greg. We're set to go with this 4th qualifier. 2-year-old trotting fillies, and it's a field of 8. One is Chatty Matty. Captain Corey filly was a $30,000 Lexington Select buy. 2, Claire Island, my MVP filly. 3 is One Bell. This is a daughter of Wallner. 4, All Have the Red, Chapter 7 filly. A $70,000 Lexington Select purchase. 5, Share Hill, Muscle Mass filly. 6 is Sugar Packet. 6-pack filly out of the Lexington Select sale for $11,000 US. 7 is Life is Great, Resolve filly. Also a Lexington Select purchase, $50,000. And the last one is 8, Captainess Sawyer. Captain Corey filly. Lexington Select by $25,000. So getting set to go with this field of 8 2-year-old trotting fillies. 1 Chatty Matty is driven by James McDonald for trainer Desiree Jones. 2 is Claire Island. It's Bob McClure for Gabby Sasso. 3 1 Bell. Matt Bax, the trainer driver. 4 I'll Have the Red. Rick Zeron trains and drives. 5 is Cher Hill. It's Doug McNair for Greg McNair. 6 is Sugar Packet. Jody Jameson will drive for Blake McIntosh. 7 is Life is Great. Billy Davis for Blake McIntosh. And on the outside is the 8 Captainess Sawyer. Another Blake McIntosh trainee, Tyler Borth, is in the bike. Gate picks up speed. Here they come for the 4th. And they're off and trotting. Life is Great from the outside. Has a bit of early speed. Coming away well through the middle as I'll Have the Red. 1 Bell is just to that one's inside. Meanwhile, Sugar Packet is getting into the upper half. Away from the rail is Chatty Matty in 5th. Right behind that one is Claire Island. Trying to get ahead is Captainess Sawyer by a couple of spots. The last one is Cher Hill. They're into the first turn. A little wide into the first turn for the 6 Sugar Packet. That one continuing to march on up. On the lead briefly, I'll Have the Red. Opening quarter was 30-3. I'll Have the Red will give way here to Sugar Packet. Back in 3rd is Life is Great. On the outside is Captainess Sawyer. And the march will continue here through the 2nd split for that daughter of Captain Corey as she's heading up towards the lead. In 5th, that is 1 Bell. Followed 6 by Chatty Matty. 2 lengths then to Claire Island. Another couple lengths to Cher Hill. So throughout this 2nd quarter, Captainess Sawyer has been heading for the front and will get up there as they were by the half in 1 minute and 4/5. Captainess Sawyer is now the leader by 2. Stablemate Sugar Packet in 2nd. I'll Have the Red is 3.5 lengths off the lead in 3rd. Life is Great is behind that one. 1.5 lengths back to 1 Bell. 2 lengths going back to Chatty Matty. And the final pair continue to be Claire Island and Cher Hill. Midway around the far turn, Captainess Sawyer leading it by a couple of lengths. I'll Have the Red. That one's moved out from 3rd as they're by 3/4 in 1:31 flat. Top of the stretch here, Captainess Sawyer was out for a good chunk of the opening half mile, and once up to the lead, tries to go the rest of the way. Here comes I'll Have the Red in pursuit. Angled out is Sugar Packet between horses. 1 Bell on the outside. I'll Have the Red, the Chapter 7 filly, marches onto the lead here in the lane. It's I'll Have the Red for Zeron. She'll take qualifier number 4. Sugar Packet a length away in 2nd. 3rd was 1 Bell. Captainess Sawyer was 4th. 1:58-4. Good looking effort in the debut for I'll Have the Red.
The Chapter 7 filly I'll Have the Red getting it done. Rick Zeron training and driving this one. And she's a daughter of the father, Patrick Mayer. Shishito, just the 2nd full from that one. The first full was a winner, and I'll Have the Red looking very good this morning. Good speed on the end of it here as well. Had a little bit of cover on the final turn. Sugar, and once Rick had daylight, the filly knew exactly what to do.
Yeah, she went into a full stride and home. They get home in 27-4 there, so really good speed on many of them. There on the end of this 4th race qualifier, and I was looking forward to seeing this Captainess Sawyer this week after firing home 27-2, charted 27-2 in the first qualifier last week. Made a break early, but clean line there for that one today, and just give it up a little bit late in the stretch, but fine looking bunch of trotters there.
Yeah, and you're right, Captainess Sawyer. Nothing wrong with the effort last time. Charted in 2:03 a week ago, well back of the winner, and so stepped up a lot today in terms of her overall time, and the fact that she was put into play early showed a different approach here today. So good step in the right direction for that one. Sugar Packet, the runner-up, I really was impressed with her a week ago. I thought she was a total professional and a good runner-up effort again today. So all systems go, it looks like, for that filly.
Yeah, another one for Blake. Sugar Packet, of course. Anything with sugar in the name kind of catches my eye and ear, and not just in the grocery stores, but on the track as well. So Sugar Packet, indeed, a daughter of Six Pack, right there with them. I was surprised. They were tightly packed there nearing the finish. Many of them right there coming home in 27 and change.
Exactly right, and they're letting them kind of do it on their own. There's not a whole lot of. They're not pushing, they're not overextending, certainly at this point in time. So you take it all with a little bit of a grain of salt, but you're looking at body language, and the winner, I'll have the red, certainly. It looks ready to go, and Rick Zeron, a master, especially with trotters, I think has a promising daughter of Chapter 7 here. Chapter 7, of course, the leading all-age trotting sire in North America again this year, and kind of stamps his horses too. I'll have the red, victorious here, qualifier number 4. And we're seeing overall this week, as we expected, Sugar, we're seeing the overall times a little bit flashier than they were a week ago. And you're just going to see that from here on in, right? Week to week, they can really step up a second or two.
I believe so. Again, even as a fan, as a player, I'm going to be looking for these horses that are showing the second qualifier, and if they're showing a big one right off the bat, maybe it's the only one and only qualifier they need. Like, I'll have the red. Maybe she's right in to go for a pari-mutuel race next time we see her. Just a fine-looking bunch of fillies there that we've seen in race number 4. There's still 8 more to go. Lots more to go here. Lots more to see.
Yeah, and it's interesting, the approach different trainers are going to take, and you wonder what goes into that decision of, should we go again once or maybe even twice more in a qualifier, or are they ready to drop in the box? Like tomorrow night, we're going to see our first pari-mutuel event of the season. We've got a field of 7 going postward off the single qualifier. And I mean, how would you approach that as a horse player, for example?
You're only going to see one line on them. All right. There's not one of them going to be showing a couple of lines. So, yeah, just look for the best qualifying line. I look for big last quarters.
Yeah, and really, like that's what it comes down to a lot now, is that final quarter sprint. The early portion of the race is just getting them off on the right foot, maybe getting them the experience of dropping in front of horses, behind horses, that type of thing, and then they ask for a little bit of speed over the final quarter. And that's why you can see such a dramatic change in a week at this level. You'll see horses the first week finish 4th or 5th, the race kind of evenly. Next week, bang, they step up. Cleo Panther, kind of the case of that, who we saw win there a couple ago. Although she did show a good final quarter last week, 27 and change, so it wasn't shocking to see her do what she did this morning.
She was impressive right to the top and all the way leading, and I like her. I like the Panther Hanovers. Not many out there, but I like what I've seen so far.
So we've got, we're going to go right into this 5th race. We've got the Pacers stepping onto the track, field of 6 Pacers going to the post in here. And then we're going to have a break after qualifier number 6 this morning. So again, 2 more to go here. Then we'll take our mid-program break. Chance for the track maintenance crew to get out there and do a little bit of work for some warm-ups for the second half of the card. So here's the field for qualifier number 5. They're all out there on the track. Some really nice pedigrees in this group as well. Number 1 is LD's Kimberly. This one with James McDonald driving. Anthony Beaton, he's busy this morning. I believe he's got 10 in total out to qualify. This one, a $30,000 purchase out of the Lexington sale. A Sweet Lou filly. The mare, Tookaloo Hanover, an Art Major mare. This one is a sibling to Tall Drink Hanover the Millionaire. So Tookaloo Hanover, this will be the 3rd foal for this one, and teams up with Sweet Lou in here, your post 1 starter. I'll be Bulldog Beth, number 2 is Bulldog Hanover filly in here. This one, a graduate of the Atlantic Classic yearling sale, was a $32,000 purchase from down there. That's a big price for the sale there. and one of a few Bulldog Hanovers that made their way to that sale last fall.
Indeed. I made it a point to go in and see her. I come face to face with this filly that was purchased at the Atlanta Classic sale of last season. $32,000 down there, really nice price. She wasn't a big fan of me, though. I looked her in the eye and she put the ears back. I was trying to get a nice photo of her, but she wasn't having anything to do with the Sugar Man today. But bred by Stephen Johnson out of King Cora, Prince Edward Island. I've driven through King Cora lots to get to the Charlottetown Driving Park over the years.
Yeah, kind of our old stomping grounds,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, drove through there many times myself. Played a little hockey in that area in the younger days as well. She's one of 3 Bulldog Hanovers in the field here. Next door neighbor, Century Montana, number 3 starter here. This one, a graduate of the London Classic sale, $80,000 purchase. Rob Fellows trains. Yolanda Fellows shares ownership with Blair Corbeil of this one, the Windermere Stable, and Mike McAllister as well, bred by Century Springs. And this one, a sibling to a good Century Springs offspring in Century Inspector, a winner of $366,000 in his career and still going well.
Right on. I know some of the connections here. Of course, Blair Corbeil, Mike McAllister, very familiar with that duo out of Alberta. They race very nice horses with Kelly Horde over the years.
Redland Sapphire is another Bulldog Hanover in the field here. And this one sold in Harrisburg, $35,000 purchase there. John Pentland now trains, and sibling to a couple of good ones that, you know, maybe folks in this part of the country aren't as familiar with, but in Atlantic Canada, they certainly would be. Redland Peaches, who's got a mark of 55-2 down there, and one called One Wicked Man, a speedster with a 53-2 record down there at Truro. So nice looking group taking up positions here. 6 of them were scheduled. Mark McKelvey will go up to him next for the call.
All right. Thank you very much, Greg. Yes, was to be a field of 6. We're going to be now a field of 5. Take out the number 4, Redland Sapphire. So as they line up, number 1 is LD's Kimberly. It's a daughter of Sweet Lou. 2 is I'll Be Bulldog Beth. That's a daughter of Bulldog Hanover. 3, Century Montana, also a daughter of Bulldog Hanover. The 4 is out. 5 is Twin Bee Fierce, Captain Treacherous Filly. And 6 is Same Thing. All right, good to go here now for this 5th qualifier. And it is a field of 5, as mentioned. Qualifier number 5, 2-year-old pacing fillies, starting 8 to the top of the stretch. Off stride. That is number 5, Twin Bee Fierce. And they're off and pacing in qualifier number 5. Same thing, only different. Goes from the outside. LD's Kimberly at the inside is 2nd. Meanwhile, I'll Be Bulldog Beth. And to that one's outside, Century Montana. We'll figure out how they want to line things up. Early breaker, Twin Bee Fierce, back on stride. And that one will be right with the pack as they hit the first turn. Same thing, only different. Leads it here. This daughter of Sunshine Beach. In control for Todd Ratchford. In 2nd is LD's Kimberly. 2 lengths then to I'll Be Bulldog Beth, followed by Century Montana and Twin Bee Fierce. 32-3 was the opening quarter, so there wasn't a whole lot of early speed there. You could tell as they got to that first turn, they just quickly got lined up, and as it's all 5 of them making their qualifying debut. Same thing, only different, will be the one to show the way. They're pointed towards the midway point with LD's Kimberly right in behind 2nd. 3rd is I'll Be Bulldog Beth, tightening up. So too will Century Montana and Twin Bee Fierce. After that 32-3 opener, they are by the half in a time of 103-1. So that was a second quarter in 30-3. Same thing, only different. Continuing to lead it. LD's Kimberly, a length and a half away in 2nd, just getting to track. 2 lengths and I'll Be Bulldog Beth in 3rd. 4th is Century Montana, and Twin Bee Fierce has been behind that rival as they're going around the far turn. Again, no change in order here. 6, 1, 2, 3, 5. That's how they're lined up. Same thing, only different from LD's Kimberly at 3 quarters in a time of 133-4. top of the stretch as they once again went a 30-3 split. Same thing, only different. Albie Bulldog Beth made a miscue there, send a couple of them wide. It's same thing, only different. Angling to the outside is LD's Kimberly now to take a shot. Same thing, only different. LD's Kimberly on the outside, looking to get by now late. LD's Kimberly, same thing, only different. LD's Kimberly in the fifth. Same thing, only different was second. Third was Century Montana. Twin Bee Fierce was fourth. 2:02 and 1.
Some pretty pedestrian early fractions, half just 103 and 1, 133 and 4, and then the sprint was on. It was a measured win for LD's Kimberly, daughter of Sweet Lou, edging out the tempo setter. Same thing, only different. 2:02 and 1, 28 and 2 final quarter speed to seal the deal here. So yes, the margin of victory wasn't a whole lot, but again, totally measured there. James, I think just kind of sitting on this one, coming to the end. Good effort from the 1-2 finishers. Century Montana had to go around a breaker at the top of the stretch and does close fairly well to be third. Nice recovery from Twin Bee Fierce. A little bit of a miscue at the start. Daughter of Captain Treacherous finishing fourth and not that far off as well. So there's a group that for the most part, they're likely going to go back to the drawing board. I would think Sugar off 2:02 and 1, you're probably going to want to get more overall speed into them before you drop in for a pari-mutuel race. I
would think, the front four, they were all getting home in 28 and change there. A miscue for the ILB Bulldog Beth there, who finished to fifth. There was the scratch in there of the four, Redland Sapphire, that came out, but the front four all home nicely, but maybe another go behind the gate for them before a pari-mutuel start.
I would think so. I think they're just going to want to get a little more experience. There's ILB Bulldog Beth. She was going along nicely, and then just for whatever reason put in a little bit of a step and went off stride. So we talked about this last week. I don't think connections get panicky, right? This is why they come out. These are why we have these races. They need that experience, and for some, it's one and done, and they're ready to go. Others might take 2-3 times, in action before they're ready to embark on their racing careers.
Many of them will be still learning in the weeks and maybe months ahead, but early foundation is in them. Going behind the gate is a big deal for many.
For sure. So there's a nice look at them coming off the track here. They'll unhook. Drivers will go in, get their next assignment, and they'll be back out shortly for race number 6 on the trot.
So well behaved here, Greg, too. These horses getting unhooked. I've seen nothing. No horse is wanting to throw a wreck here, finishing up. They're so well behaved.
That's right. We had a trot race earlier. That's what I marveled at. There were 7. They were all flawless. No breakers. They were all pretty push button from start to finish. And and here they are. They know what they're doing already, a lot of them. And it's kind of bred into them these days. And we'll get another group of trotters coming up next. So we'll take another break. One more to go before our halfway point break. You're watching the Rookie Showcase on PrimeTime Racing.
Preferred Equine Online has proven time and time again to be the industry's online provider, selling the highest priced horses in all categories online, including racehorses, broodmares, yearlings, weanlings, and stallion shares. Full service, trusted and transparent. Contact Preferred for your online sales needs at www.preferredequineonline.com or call 914-773-7777.
Harness Racing Update covers the sport from all the angles, with news, opinion, features, photography, and the most comprehensive racing, breeding, and sales stories in the game from around the globe. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. Plus, HRU's popular Twos in Training series on YouTube gives you the first look at the stars of tomorrow. And the best news, it's all free. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com.
Welcome back. One more to go before we take our midway point break here this morning at Woodbine Mohawk Park. And if you're just tuning in and you didn't realize they were pushed back a little bit, you might think, well, what was the delay? Well, we started at 11 this morning, so for those who were maybe late joining, you're going to get much more of the program in this morning. It's a busy day, 12 in total. We're on the trot here and scratched down to a field of 7. We did get word that the number 4 starter in here, solo to Lexington, has come out. 7 starters to line up here back on the trot. While we have a moment, we'll just recap, at this point in the season, overall sire standings for North America, Chapter 7, we talked about it. He is the leading trotting sire in North America again this year in terms of all age earnings. The next 3 are all represented in here. Green Shoe, Walner, Bar Hopping, all have offspring in the field here as well. On the Canadian side, Green Manalishi, top Canadian stallion for 3-year-old trotters. He's 5th in North America, $550,000 earned by his 3-year-old progeny. And the Great Muscle Mass, still top producer. He sits 8th in North America. His 3-year-old offspring have banked $445,000. Both of those stallions, of course, at Terra Hill. So pretty nice 1-2 punch in the stallion barn.
I remember before the first crop of Green Manalishi made it to the track, we got around to farms, being working with the London Classic Yearling Sale. Lots of fun going around visiting farms and checking out the babies, and we weren't quite sure what to expect with the Green Manalishis, but wow, did they ever show up last season.
Yeah, you just never know. There was certainly some excitement around them and anticipation. And nowadays, though, it's a fickle industry. You've got to have some success with that first crop, it seems, or people can quickly move on to the next big thing. But boy, he made an impact, and the 2-year-olds certainly made their mark last season, but early indications this year as well that the 3-year-olds were going to come back good, and the rookies we've seen so far from him have been turning heads.
I believe so, and there's lots more to come this morning, right? Many of the Green Manalishis are in to go here, and number 6, Timeless, Matt Bax on board. Green Manalishi, head of a credit winner mare.
Yeah, she's a sister to DeJambro, $1 million winner in the spot. Next door neighbor, LMC Chip and Chocolate. And this one, a wheeling and dealing. And Pat Houdon trains and does the driving on this one. And will be out for a second qualifier. One of 3 in the field who did face the starting gate a week ago. Back upstairs we go to Mark McKelvey with the description.
Thank you very much, Greg. Scratch number 4, solo to Lexington. Field of 7 lining up. 1 is Looks to Be Magic, daughter of Looks Like a Chippendale. 2 is Sin Sin. This is a bar hopping filly. 3 is Northern Teardrop, daughter of Green Shoe. 4 is out. 5 is Walner's Grove, Walner filly. 6 is going to be Timeless, Green Manalishi filly. 7 is LMC Chip and Chocolate. She's a daughter of Wheelin' and Dealin'. And 8 is Belle Boo Boo, daughter of Green Manalishi. Doug McNair was scheduled to drive the 1, so now it'll be Louis-Philippe Waugh for Brent Ballore. That was a $18,000 London Classic buy. 2, Sin Sin, Tyler Borth for Blake McIntosh. Lexington Select Grad at $35,000 US. 3, Northern Teardrop, Jody Jameson for Blake McIntosh. Moving on to the 5, Walner's Grove. That's where Doug McNair will steer the Greg McNair trained filly. 6 is going to be Timeless. Matt Bax trains and drives. 7, LMC Chip and Chocolate. Pat Houdon, the trainer driver. And 8 is Belle Boo Boo. Paul Reed trains. Scott Young drives. So there you have it. That's the info as this field of 7 is assembled. They're set to go for qualifier number 6. And they're off and trotting. Northern Teardrop getting the first call. As out from post 3. And right to her business as she takes the lead. Getting away in second is going to be Walner's Grove. Then at the inside third is Sin Sin. Outside is Timeless to land in mid-pack. Belle Boo Boo from the outside starting spot gets ahead of a couple and Looks to Be Magic and LMC Chip and Chocolate. Jody Jameson, Northern Teardrop. This is a daughter of Green Shoe, and she's up top by 3.5, 4 at an opening quarter of 30 and 3. Northern Teardrop the leader. racing in second. That is Walner's Grove. Then it's 6 lengths going back to Sin Sin in third. Fourth is Timeless. Fifth is Belle Boo Boo. She's 2 lengths in front of Looks to Be Magic. And then we got about 5 lengths back to the trailer, LMC, Chip, and Chocolate. Up front with the lead continues to be Northern Teardrop. Second quarter breaker, Looks to Be Magic, makes a miscue and is off stride. So it continues to be Northern Teardrop by 2 as they hit the midway point in 101 and 2. Second quarter was 30 and 4. The leader is still Northern Teardrop. In second is Walner's Grove. Third is Sin Sin. 2 lengths into Timeless in fourth. Fifth is going to be Belle Boo Boo. And then we're going back to LMC, Chip and Chocolate, and Looks to Be Magic well behind. So as they're halfway around the far turn, Northern Teardrop, she is cutting the mile again. Second is Walner's Grove. Third continues to be Sin Sin, Timeless, and also there is Belle Boo Boo as they were by 3/4 in 131 and 4. Northern Teardrop, she's into the lane. It's Northern Teardrop trying to close it out this week. In second, the debuting Walner's Grove. Sin Sin's at the inside third. Timeless in pursuit in fourth. Belle Boo Boo fifth. LMC, Chip and Chocolate sixth. 16th of a mile remains. Northern Teardrop. Walner's Grove is right behind in second, and that's how they're going to finish. It'll be Northern Teardrop all the way. Walner's Grove, 1.5 lengths back in second. Third was Timeless, and fourth was Belle Boo Boo. 2 minutes and 3/5 for Northern Teardrop.
Another snappy 28 and 4 final quarter as Jody Jameson gets another winner early this morning in qualifying action with Northern Teardrop, a green shoe filly who did qualify a week ago, finished second on that occasion. Was charted in 2:01 and 1, lowers her time a little bit today, put on the front this time around as well, and reacted pretty nicely to that. Northern Teardrop, this one owned by Northfields Farm of Meaford, Ontario. They, of course, have a nice breeding operation there. They sell some yearlings each year, horses with that Northern moniker that you see racing, especially throughout Ontario. Many nice-looking trotting individuals, and they are the owner of this one. It was bred by an ownership group, both U.S. and Canadian ownership in that breeding group. At Northern Teardrop, owned by Northfields Farms, as mentioned. 2 minutes and 3/5, so 2 qualifiers into her career. Looks like this daughter of Green Shoe is ready to get going. And yes, there they are, coming back after their efforts in qualifier number 6 this morning. Kind of a workmanlike effort, Sugar, from Northern Teardrop there. Knew what to do on the lead, and nobody really able to get close.
Yeah, and I was watching her closely behind the gate too. Jody did a fabulous job of keeping her to task. You know, she was just throwing her head, just like she did just there in behind the gate. But Jody kept her trotting and got away very nicely and led throughout. Nice back quarter, 28 and 4, minding her manners well. Looking good, kind of a slick way of going too. I agree, and even the pockets that are there, Walner's Grove, the front too, they had some serious separation on the rest of them, so it would be interesting to check the back halves on the 2 green Manalishis that we saw. 6 and 8 were finishing 3rd and 4th. They gained quite a bit of ground through that final half.
Belle Boo Boo finished 4th, was right there with the 3rd place finisher. Very encouraging, I'm sure, if you hear the connections there. She's one that made a miscue. She looked good last week until she made the break in stride. Nice way to rebound this morning.
Out of all of them, honestly, Greg, through the stretch, she was the one I was watching. Very laggy. I mean, she's not very big, but what a reach on her.
Yeah, and we're seeing that, I would think, from Green Manalishi. If, you know, we're not trying to label them all the same way, but if they've got a bit of a stamp, it's the gait. They kind of got that long reach that he had on the racetrack.
Yeah, that's what I seen with Belle Boo Boo through the stretch. She was the one I had my eye on, and the further she was going, the more she was reaching.
So it's been a busy morning so far. A lot of fun, though. And we're you know, we'll try and pick kind of a first star at the end of the card, maybe a little bit early. Great to hear from Pat Woods, too, to give a little bit of perspective of what it's like for the breeding farms, who I'm sure some of them are here today or have people here today. I'm sure a lot of them will be watching online today as well. it's just got to be so exciting for them.
Exciting for them, exciting for me too. This was a spontaneous trip for me. I hadn't planned on coming down, but when I saw there was 12 races in to go, and I needed some work done on the vehicle, I said let's hop on board with Greg for the day and take in some qualifying action for the rookies.
And it worked out. We had to press you into duty here, so appreciate you jumping on. Of course, Mark's up in the booth today calling the action, and we'll probably have another special guest on with us here in the second half of the show. Got Rick Zeron over here. Rick, do you want to come on in for a sec? Let's have a quick chat with Rick while we're here. Come on in the middle here, Rick.
Alrighty. How are you? Just
wanted to get your reaction on the youngster that you unveiled this morning. The Chapter 7 looked very good.
Yeah, I'll have the red. It's a good name. It's a catchy name, too. Great filly. She was a good filly with the day. I put the harness on her right till today. We brought her in here a couple of times and to make sure that she was going to be okay and maybe hard in the starting gate. And she's a serious filly. She just loves her work, and she actually moved herself out of the hole around the last turn. I was sitting behind Jody, and she just moved over, and I said, all right, let you go.
So mission accomplished today. What will be next for her, or do you know this early on?
Yeah, there's I think the first New York Sire stake is in Monticello. I might miss it, and I'll stay here. I think it's the Tompkin Gears that's here. I think around the 24th or 26th, and I'll give her the time off a little bit, and I'll have her ready for that here.
Now, you've got a lot of experience. You've had many great horses. You've probably had some that have fooled you, too, that you thought were great and went the other way. So, what's your mindset right now? I mean, obviously you're excited about the filly, but do you try and kind of temper that and be realistic as well?
She reminds me a lot of Atlanta. That's what she does, yeah. Yeah, so that's a good starting.
That's a big reference.
It's a big starting point. I know, yeah.
Catches my ear.
And she's very serious when she's out there. She's all business. She wants to do her work and then go home. She lies down, eats her hay, and is just a normal horse. So I'm looking forward to having a big career with her.
Anybody else in the woodwork that's going to come out for you in the next couple of weeks that you're excited about?
Yeah, I have a Trixton Trotting colt. His name's Bob from Hockey. Jeff Rook owns him with me with his friend Bob, and he named him Bob from Hockey. He's okay. He trots right alongside of this filly here, but I just don't know if he's as deep as she is. There's an endless. I haven't even spoke to her yet, but he's a nice kind of a colt. We're going to qualify him tomorrow morning, so we'll see how he is.
All right. Well, listen, thanks for popping in.
Absolutely, guys. Take care. Have a great day.
Okay. Rick Zeron, he is all smiles. I think he likes his filly.
Made me smile too. I love that name, Bob from Hockey.
Yeah.
So unique. I love it.
So, we are halfway through here this morning. Again, we want to welcome everybody tuning in this morning from all over the world. We're seeing viewers from Europe tuning in, of course, south of the border and all across Canada. It's wonderful to have you joining us today. I want to quickly, again, thank all of our sponsors here this morning for making the coverage possible. And it's wonderful to be able to bring these races to you. We'll be with you today and tomorrow again, the next weekend. So 3 weeks of coverage of the baby races here from Woodbine Mohawk Park. Right now we are going to take a bit of a break here while we're at the midway point. The horses are warming up. So we'll just take a break for 5 or 10 minutes, and we will come back with the second half of the Rookie Showcase here on PrimeTime Racing. Welcome back to Woodbine Mohawk Park. You're watching the Rookie Showcase as we get set to move into the back half of this morning's qualifying session. Again, I want to thank all of our sponsors this morning for helping make this coverage possible, including the Hambletonian Society, Hambletonian 100. Some big news just announced today. A new presenting sponsor this year for the Hambletonian, FanDuel. And that's fantastic news. The biggest sports book in the United States teaming up with the biggest running race, the Hambletonian 100th anniversary. Can't wait till that. Interesting to hear from Rick Zeron today. Of course, a former Hambletonian winner with the great Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And very excited about another daughter of Chapter 7 that he unveiled here this morning. And that's why these qualifying days are so much fun. We're getting set to move into the back half of the program here this morning. As mentioned, a total of 12 qualifiers today. So 6 more remaining. We'll go to the pace here for qualifier number 7, field of 6. Just before we touch on that, I want to have a quick look at the pacing stallions in North America, leading money-winning sires so far this season. And interesting, as far as North American standings concerned, the late great Better's Delight still on top.
Amazing, and seeing a number of them here this morning. You'll see more tomorrow morning, and just keeps on doing it and doing it well. And we got a tour of an open house at Better's Delight's home there a couple of years ago, and what a show he put on for the folks in attendance that day. I still remember that. I'll always remember that. Classy veteran. And
his son, Better Than Cheddar, the leading Canadian sire in terms of all age money winnings this year, $3 million for Better Than Cheddar on that side of things here for the in terms of 3-year-old standings for sires. North American wide, Huntsville leads the way in that category. And Cattle Wash, we're seeing his first full crop here in Ontario on the racetrack this summer. He sits 6th in the overall standings for 3-year-olds. But we turn our attention here to a good-looking field coming up next. 6 of them to go to the post in here. And from this group, just one that we saw in action a week ago, Iraq. We got the pronunciation last week from Deb Moran. She's here to watch this one. She owns and trains. Tyler Borth doing the driving. And this is, again, the only one in the field that's going to be coming back for a second try this time around. Brian's Halo, Post 2 starter, Always Be Mickey filly, out of a sister Sister 2, out of Ice, who you know well, Sugar. He was a grassroots winner on Camlock night for Team Jameson. Out of Ice, good-looking individual, and Team Jameson send out this starter. So familiarity, they always like to go back to pedigrees they know well.
Powerful team, Jameson with the young horses, both 2- and 3-year-olds, and yes, indeed, wonderful to see them pick up the win on our biggest and best night of racing in London. We went out with a bang.
Dr. Ian Moore's got one here, Post 3 starter, More to Love, and that's spelled M-O-O-R-E, More to Love. This is a Better's Delight filly, a sibling to a quartet of $100,000 winners, including the very fast Pyro, who banked more than $800,000 in his career. And there is More to Love. Pretty good body language moving up to the gate.
I like it. Right on the bit there with really fit up well on board. And yeah, she looks kind of anxious right now to get things rolling here. Very, very anticipating maybe her debut behind a starting gate in the qualifier. I like her look.
All right, after a little break, Mark McKelvey set to call the action for Qualifier 7.
Yeah, let's get things going once again as we move to the back half of today's qualifying session. 7th race, 2-year-old pacing fillies. 1 is No Better Air, daughter of Cattle Wash. 2 is Brian's Halo, and Always Be Mickey filly. 3 is Moore to Love, Better's Delight filly. 4, Iraq, Sunshine Beach filly. 5, Naughty Delight, daughter of Better's Delight. 6 is Caitlin T, a Bulldog Hanover. So the 1, No Better Air, it's Trevor Henry for Scott McEnany. The 2, Brian's Halo, Jody Jameson for Carl Jameson. And this is a graduate of the Lexington Select Sale for $15 US. 3, Moore to Love, Louis Waugh for Doc Moore. 4 is Iraq. It's a Sunshine Beach filly. Tyler Borth for Debbie O'Brien Moran. 5 is Naughty Delight. James McDonald for Tony Beaton. $40,000 Lexington by. And 6 is Caitlin T. Tyler Moore, Trains and Drives, a London Classic grad, $66,000. 7th race today, set to go. Here they come. And they're off and pacing, and it's Iraq down the center out to the early lead. So the only horse in the field with qualifying experience, Iraq is going to show the way in the opening stages. Moore to Love moves ahead into second in front of Brian's Halo third. Away from the rail, No Better Air got away in fourth. Naughty Delight takes to fifth, and she'll be followed by Caitlin T sixth as they get into single file order. Iraq, the daughter of Sunshine Beach, is out in front, while racing second is Moore to Love. They come up to the opening quarter in a time of 31 and 3. 31 and 3, opening quarter there, and it's Iraq who leads it. 2 lengths better right now than Moore to Love. Brian's Halo's in third. Fourth is No Better Air. Fifth is Naughty Delight, and then it's 4 lengths or so back to Caitlin T. Iraq stretches out the lead a little bit here as they are moving right along in the second quarter. Iraq and Tyler Borth are up top by 3 lengths. Second is Moore to Love. Third is Brian's Halo. 31 and 3 was that opening split, and they are by the half in a time of 1 minute and 4/5. So that was a second quarter in 29 and 1. And as mentioned, they were taking it up a notch there, and it continues to be Iraq on that loose lead. Second is Moore to Love. Third is Brian's Halo. Right behind that one is No Better Air for Henry in fourth, and that one's ready to get underway. So here comes the Cattle Wash filly, No Better Air, and she's advancing quickly. Naughty Delight's in fifth, and sixth remains Caitlin T. No Better Air in this third quarter. It's coming up after the leader Iraq, and it gets on even terms at 3/4 in 130 flat, which was once again a 29-1 split. Even quicker for No Better Air, who has rushed up to the lead, takes command as they straighten out for home. It's No Better Air, Iraq in second, Brian's Halo behind that one third. Then we go to Naughty Delight at the inside is Moore to Love. It's all No Better Air, Brian's Halo around Iraq. Right behind that one, Naughty Delight, No Better Air. Good looking debut, takes it. Brian's Halo was second, Naughty Delight was third, Iraq was fourth. 157 and 3, 27 and 3 on the end of it. It was No Better Air.
Big back half speed in that one, 56 and 4, 27 and 3 final quarter after making that big brush to the front. No Better Air. Eye-catching, I think, is the term to use here. Cattle Wash filly from a good producing mare named Clarabelle. She's a daughter of Jeremy's Jet, Scott McEnany, and Trevor Henry teaming up with this one. At first asking, too, Sugar didn't have the benefit of the qualifier last week and was ready to go.
What a nice turn of foot. I mean, this filly's coming her back half in 55 and a bit. When she made a move nearing 3/4, it was just like that. Speed just came to her, and it was noticeable right when Trevor had her in gear.
And finished up with a little bit left in the tank, as they say. Holds on for the victory quite easily there after that big move. Brian's Halo, nice rally for the runner-up spot into that fast final quarter. Naughty Delight up for what I would say was a measured third. Wasn't being overly pushed or overly extended in there. That daughter of Better Delight, I think you'll see that one step up next week. I suspect if she's back in to go for another qualifier, you'd see her a little more aggressive early, and you'd probably see her drop a second or two. I think she's looks ready to do that.
Right on. You're already anticipating wanting to see them next time.
I am.
Maybe in for another qualifier next week.
Yeah, and that's what you're looking for. You know, the winners obviously catch your attention on these days, but you look for those horses that finish third, fourth, but finish up with pace. That, you know, or maybe just being handled conservatively with the bit in their mouth. Look at that body language, and that's what you like to see.
It's amazing, this horse coming back after doing what she just did. Like I said, home in 55 and a bit on the final half, and looked fantastic on her way back to the barn area. And just one more time, amazing, these 2-year-olds so well behaved coming back to the paddock area after doing their qualifying rounds here, and unhooking, no issues whatsoever. So well behaved, these rookies.
We just saw Naughty Delight a moment ago coming off the track. I would say she's on a little bit on the bigger side for a Better's Delight. Not not overly big, but a nice, big, strong, strapping daughter of Bettor's Delight, and has a pretty good maternal family here as well. The Badlands Hanover mare, Pleasant Yet Bad, has produced a pair that have made over $300,000 on the racetrack. So a $40,000 mid-level yearling purchase. I think Naughty Delight shows a lot of potential in the third place finisher, but certainly the winner shows shows plenty of potential too. No Better Air, ultra impressive.
Darn straight. And there was a few of them in there with some pretty good size, like 2, Brian's Halo, Deb's horse there, Air Rock at a post 4. Amazing. Both of us growing up in Prince Edward Island, the yearlings, the 2-year-olds back home, never showed much for size. It wasn't until I went to Alberta and then on to Ontario where I started to notice the size and what a yearling and a 2-year-old, how different it can be versus back home in the Maritimes.
7 races down. We have 5 more to go. Another group of trotters coming up next on Primetime Racing.
The London Classic Yearling Sale, Canada's premier standardbred auction, returns this October to the Western Fair District Agriplex. The nation's leading consigners choose the London Classic, offering hundreds of yearlings by many of the sport's leading sires, all under one roof at one of North America's best venues. Recent sale graduates include Canada's Rookie Pacing Colt of the Year, Stonebridge Wizard, O'Brien Award finalist Paquette, and O'Brien Award winning double millionaire Logan Park. The London Classic Yearling Sale, where your dollar goes further and where champions are found. Find out more at londonclassic.ca.
I'm awfully glad I won.
The Hamiltonian, it's one of the most prestigious races. It's quite a thrill. It's one of the biggest thrills of my life.
We delivered. The horse delivered. It was amazing. I can't believe it.
I am stunned. I'm absolutely stunned.
This is obviously the pinnacle.
Just something that I can't explain.
This is just an absolute dream come true.
It feels good now, but I'm sure it's going to feel even better tomorrow.
For me to do it, this is my moment.
I might have got a little excited.
Yes, indeed, the Hamiltonian, a couple of months away, but it'll be here before you know it, 100th anniversary of that.
You've been down for the last few years. Are you
have.
back down this year
I
as
believe
well?
so.
Right on.
That's the plan. 100th anniversary. How exciting is that? America's trotting classic, the Hamiltonian. And who knows? That's what we love about these weekends. We could, at some point, watch a horse that will one day be competing in that prestigious event.
I'm going back years now and dating myself. Late 70s, I'm out at my Uncle Ed's, and he was shutting everything down to catch the running of the Hamiltonian back then. First I ever heard of it, but I know it's been a big race for a lot of years.
For sure, and it's a big weekend here at Woodbine Mohawk Park as well. Pepsi North America Cup weekend, and what a wonderful undercard tomorrow evening as well. We've seen it today. Some past NA Cup winners are represented with Offspring competing here this morning as well. But it's trotters here coming up next in qualifier number 8. And here's a look at the field. It's got a full field of 8 scheduled to go to the post here. Tricks for Lex is the one. Going to be Bob McClure on board this, daughter of Trixton from the striking Sabra mare Always Dreaming. $12,000 yearling purchase last fall. The 2 in the field, Thwarter, an Archangel, and it's going to be Louis-Philippe Roy doing the driving on this one. Trained by Kyle Fellows, and this one is sibling to a couple of good ones. Evolving, the most accomplished of the siblings, $100,000 winner. Wearing the Green is one that a talented youngster that we're seeing more of here locally. $75,000 on that. That one's card, 3-year-old and counting, son of Green Manalishi. Calgary Morning, number 6, is a daughter of Green Manalishi in the field, a sibling to a good one, a $500,000 winner called Hayek. Just plenty of pedigree potential when you go through the field here, top to bottom. In terms of trotting stallions, Green Manalishi's the one that's really been making the noise in recent years. But muscle mass, he's been doing it a long time, and Mark and I were talking last week how he puts the stamp on them. You can often see one on the track, not know who the sire is, but take a guess that it's a muscle mass.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Normally you see a bit of chrome on them, and just the look, their stride, bulky look, a muscular look, a muscle mass certainly stamps them here in Ontario.
Archangel's been another really top stallion here in Ontario as well. I think of Logan Park, Fashion Frenzy immediately come to mind, and Thwarter in here, the number 2. We talked about that one. A lot of, I think, pedigree potential for this one, and same connections, of course, that do campaign Logan Park. So the gate rolling here, full field of 8 trotters. Qualifier number 8 with the play-by-play. Here's Mark McKelvey.
All right, here we go for the 8th qualifier. Number 1 is Tricks for Lex, a daughter of Trixton. $12,000 London Classic purchase. 2 is Thwarter, daughter of Archangel. The 3, A Splash of Green, daughter of Green Manalishi, was a $55,000 London Classic yearling sale purchase. 4 is Anne-Marie's Cookie, Father Patrick filly, a Lexington Select grad, $37,000 US. 5 is I Take the Cake, daughter of Captain Corey, Harrisburg purchase for $15,000 US. 6, Calgary Morning, a Green Manalishi filly, Lexington Select purchase for $65,000 US. 7 is Barbara May, daughter of Alarm Detector, and 8 is Believe, that's a daughter of Muscle Mass. So from the inside out, 1 Tricks for Lex, Bob McClure for Gabby Sasso, 2 is Thwarter, Louis Waugh for Kyle Fellows, 3 is Splash of Green, James McDonald for Blake McIntosh, 4 Anne-Marie's Cookie, Tyler Borth for Blake McIntosh, 5 is I Take the Cake, Jody Jameson for McIntosh, 6 Calgary Morning, Matt Bax trainer driver, 7 Barbara May, Doug McNair for Greg McNair, and 8 Believe, Trevor Henry for Dan Legacy. They're off and trotting in qualifier number 8. First call goes to the 5, I Take the Cake, and that one steps forward quickly to command. It's going to be Barbara May, who is going to be able to drop in behind and lands right there in second. A Splash of Green is third for the time being, with Anne-Marie's Cookie on the outside fourth. Then we go to Calgary Morning, who's followed by Tricks for Lex, to Thwarter, and the last one is Believe. As they're going around that first turn, we had a breaker in third. A Splash of Green went off stride. 30 seconds flat was the opening split. And the leader, as they come out of the first turn, is I Take the Cake. I Take the Cake from Barbara May in second. Big gap then going back to Anne-Marie's Cookie after that first turn breaker in third. So Anne-Marie's Cookie will try to close the gap third. 2 lengths back in fourth is Calgary Morning. Couple lengths back to Tricks for Lex, followed by Thwarter. Then we go to Believe, and it's about a dozen lengths back to A Splash of Green. To the midway point, and I Take the Cake is there in 101-1. Second quarter was 31-1. I Take the Cake, daughter of Captain Corey, showing the way. She was sitting back in 6th at this point in her qualifying debut a week ago. She's cutting it out now, up top by 2. Barbara May in second. Anne-Marie's Cookie still there third. Calgary Morning is in fourth. Tricks for Lex is fifth, followed 6th by Thwarter, then 2 Believe, and A Splash of Green is last. It's a 2-length advantage here for I Take the Cake. 1:31-1 was the 3-quarter time. 30 seconds even. That third quarter identical to the opening quarter, and we'll see now if I Take the Cake can continue to motor along. In second has been Barbara May throughout. On the outside, Calgary Mornings into third from Anne-Marie's Cookie in fourth. Off stride in the lane went Tricks for Lex. Length and a half advantage here for I Take the Cake. Is on the helmet second is Barbara May. Content to finish there second behind I Take the Cake. Second was Barbara May. Third was Calgary Morning. Anne-Marie's Cookie was fourth. And Thwarter was fifth. 1:59-3.
I Take the Cake took the win. And that's the third, I believe, this morning for Double J. Had a nice group to go with this morning. And this one, big strapping daughter of Hamiltonian winner Captain Corey from the Chocolatier mare. I'll Bring the Dessert. Nice step up today. She qualified a week ago. Finished 5th there, and that's a good indication of what we talked about earlier. Finished 5th. Individually timed in 2:01-1 a week ago, but showed 28-1 final quarter speed. It was a real good sprint on the end of it last week. Finished kind of mid-pack today, a lot more aggressive, and they'd be ecstatic, I think, with what they saw this morning.
I think so, and looks great on the way back to the paddock here, following that gate to wire qualifying victory. Nice back quarter there, 28-2. Staying right with her there was the alarm detector daughter, Barbara May. Now, McNair didn't even right line her. He was just comfortable to keep her in following that helmet, and I'll look for good things from that one next time I see her.
100%. I was just about to say that. This one, a daughter of alarm detector from the real good mare, Absolute Sealster. She was a top class trotter herself, and I think this mating's produced one that you can see the talent from here this morning. And you're right, that was just all about keeping her brave and ready for next time, I think. And in third place finisher, Calgary Morning. Nothing wrong with her effort either.
Yeah, you know what? Going up towards the half mile, I'm looking at the monitors here, and I'm looking at the horse sitting fourth, and it's the 6. And I said, that's got to be a Green Manalishi. After just talking about muscle mass, how he stands him, I said, that's got to be a Green Manalishi. I looked down, sure enough, it was Calgary Morning, the 6. What a stride. Not a very big trotter, but that long gait. He's stamping them with that gait.
For sure. And, we're blessed with so many top stallions in the province, both on the pacing and the trotting side. We talk about the ones that have a volume of trotters and Green Manalishi, muscle mass. Talked about Archangel. Amazing. And then you've got a horse like Alarm Detector. He was a great horse on the racetrack. He doesn't get as many mares, but he has proven that he is capable of producing ones that can compete at the top level too. And I think Barbara May is a name we're going to hear from. So it's cool to watch at this time, and we're trying to speculate just on what we see on the racetrack. What's going to happen in the coming weeks, and in a month from now we could be talking about a totally different group, or we might be talking about the same ones that are performing today. You just never know.
I'm happy to be here. I'm already looking forward to seeing a lot of these next time.
It's going to be a fun summer, and we're just kind of getting started here. Baby races, we are in the second weekend of those, and we've got about 4 more left to go here on this morning session. You're watching the Rookie Showcase on PrimeTime Racing.
Harness Racing Update covers the sport from all the angles, with news, opinion, features, photography, and the most comprehensive racing, breeding, and sales stories in the game from around the globe. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. Plus, HRU's popular Twos in Training series on YouTube gives you the first look at the stars of tomorrow. And the best news? It's all free. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com.
All sports dynasties share one thing.
Home run! Another world championship!
They dominate. Hanover Shoe Farms, the most successful breeder of Hambletonian champions, producing an impressive total of 11 winners, has dominated the race. Purchase Hanover yearlings at Harrisburg. Hanover Shoe Farms, a standard bred dynasty.
It doesn't get any better than that! Wow!
Welcome back. You're getting set to go here with the next qualifier back on the pace this time around. Just a moment ago, we saw Scott McEnany. He was out watching the trotters go in that last one, so I had a chance to chat with him for a few moments, and he said No Better Air, who we saw win earlier today, was a natural right from day one. Really high hopes for her, so she did not disappoint. That was good to hear, and very high on the cattle washes, he said, as well, from what he has seen. And talked about Boxer Sealster, is expecting that colt to bounce back tomorrow night. He'll be racing in I think it's a 3-year-old open pace on the NA Cup undercard, and said he had, I think, some tie-up issues last time.
Well, that's good to hear. There's always something can pop up with a young horse now and then, and obviously had his reasons to finish back there last time out, but look for better things, Boxer Sealster, next time out here at Woodbine Mohawk Park.
Here's a look at the field for this upcoming qualifier. And again, we're on the pace. There's a look at Pelican Bay. Shane Arsenault trains this one. It's going to be Bob McClure doing the driving. Captain Crunch filly, who is the only one in the group that's going to be coming back after qualifying a week ago. She was 7th last week. Charted 202 and 2, did fire home in 28 and 1. We'll see if she can step up here. There's number 3, Daya, daughter of Bulldog Hanover. We think it's the first one that we've seen from Jack Darling so far.
Big, strong filly too, but it looks of it. Bulldog Hanover, Jack Darling, heck of a job with him over the years, and now in the breeding shed at Seals to Farms. I'm looking forward to this one. Just on the look out of the parade there, just a big, strapping-looking filly.
And understandably, Jack made sure that he acquired some bulldogs last fall.
Indeed.
And got a few of them in the barn, and we're going to get a look at one here. She is from Beach of a Time, and she's a sibling to $250,000 winner Unity. Easy Station, number 4 in the field, a Captain Treacherous filly. 3rd foal of the dam, Edie's Well Said. The first 2 both earned $70,000 plus, and showing a lot of potential early on. So it looks like this is a good producing mare teaming up with Captain Treacherous. And the number 5 we just saw a moment ago, LD Sabina, daughter of Stay Hungry. Stay Hungrys have kind of made some noise in this last year or two as well. Brew Hanover comes to mind for us here locally, right?
Locally, oh boy, what a finish in the Camluck Classic. Just kind of ran out of room, but amazing that he stayed on all fours when he comes down into the safety lane. James, heck of a job. And then he comes back, wins in 48 flat for a new mark 8 days later. Incredible.
Yeah, it was, I'm sure, a little tough for you with a race call, right? You're coming to the finish, you're getting hyped up, and then you've got that bit of confusion, but just added to the drama of a great Camluck Classic. Should give a shout-out to, Hanover Shoe Farms, one of our sponsors here, and the 1, 2, 3 finishers that night, all Hanover breds.
Amazing. Even at the half mile, I was calling them. It's the Hanovers. The 3 of them were 1, 2, 3 with a lap to go in the Camluck.
Yeah, Chase H. Hanover made the track, and of course Irvin Hanover, Brew Hanover in a dramatic Camluck. So here we go. Qualifier number 6. Starting gate is rolling. Philly Pacers back up to Mark McKelvey.
All right, it's a field of 6 for the 9th qualifier. 1 is Red Beach 1, daughter of Cattle Wash. 2 is Pelican Bay, a daughter of Captain Crunch. The 3 is Daya, Bulldog Hanover filly. 4 is Easy Station. This is a Captain Treacherous filly. It was a $45,000 U.S. Lexington buy. 5 is LD Sabina, Stay Hungry filly. Lexington Select grad for $25,000 U.S. And 6 is Poisonous Delight, Better's Delight filly. Also from the Lexington Select sale, $22,000 U.S. It's a field of 6. 1, Red Beach 1, Jody Jameson for Brenda Lane. 2 is Pelican Bay, Bob McClure for Shane Arsenault. 3 is Daya, James McDonald for Jack Darling. 4, Easy Station, Louis Waugh for Kyle Fellows. 5, LD Sabina, Doug McNair for Anthony Beaton. And 6 is Poisonous Delight, Jonathan Drury for Beaton. A field of 6. They're in the hands of the starter. Here we go. Qualifier number 9. And they're off and pacing. Nobody in a real particular hurry here off the wings as Red Beach 1 from the inside has the slight advantage. Looks like Daya is going to float up to that one's wheel and now move on to the lead. Everybody else is looking to take a seat and line up. Pelican Bay to Easy Station, LD Sabina, and Poisonous Delight. So it will be Daya who will get the front, and Daya takes him into the first turn. Red Beach 1 is in second. And then racing thirds, Pelican Bay, Easy Station, LD Sabina, Poisonous Delight. Opening quarter was 31 and 4. So here's a daughter of Bulldog Hanover. It is Daya who will lead them to the backstretch. She leads it by 2. Red Beach 1 is in second. Third is Pelican Bay, the lone filly in the field with qualifying experience. Closing the gap behind her is going to be Easy Station. LD Sabina is 5th, and 2 lengths back to Poisonous Delight in 6th. Bit of a 2-horse breakaway here, though, as it is Daya rolling along, leading it by a pair on Red Beach 1. The half was hit in 1 minute and 4/5, so stepped it up 29 seconds flat in the second quarter. It's Daya leading it, but Red Beach 1 wants to get right in behind, and again, it's about 12 to 15 lengths back to the rest. Pelican Bay is in third, Easy Station is fourth, LD Sabina in fifth, and Poisonous Delight's on that one's helmet and now comes to the outside from the back of the pack. So again, this 2-horse breakaway sees Daya by a length and a half on Red Beach 1. The half was 1 minute and 4/5, three-quarter time, 1:29 and 3. 28 and 4, third quarter, and into the stretch it's Daya. Red Beach 1, the Cattle Wash filly called upon now. Daya is trying to get away on that rival. Well back to Poisonous Delight, who's now into third from Pelican Bay in fourth. As we come to the final 16th, and Daya gets even more separation here late. Good looking Bulldog Hanover filly. Daya in the 9th will win it. Second was Red Beach 1, and then we will go back to Poisonous Delight, who was third, and 3 across for fourth. 1:57 and 3, 28-second kicker there. It was Daya in the 9th.
Daya turning some heads, I think, with that effort here this morning off a 31 and 4
Here late.
Opening quarter, 57 and 3 the win time, and had a nice looking filly on her back too. Red Beach 1 looked tremendous this morning, but this filly has kind of a look to her, doesn't she?
I know that look. I've seen it before. She does remind me of Bulldog Hanover, and I said, big strapping filly on the parade, and you know what? Kind of neat. She goes progressively quicker quarters all the way down to her final one in 28 flat. I had 2 circles here in my program. They happened to be on Daya and Red Beach 1. That beautiful chestnut on the rail was staying close to her throughout. They put some serious separation on them. We mentioned going towards the half. They're going plenty, and they were, and they just kept on drawing clear.
And you're right, the progressively faster quarters, something we haven't seen much of. We've seen, the final quarter sprints, but, this filly rolled along a little bit in the middle half and then kicks home in 28 seconds flat and under no urging to do it. So I would think Jack Darley's got to be a little bit excited about this filly, as would James McDonald in here. And it's got the big gait on her, doesn't she? You get the goosebumps happening.
The hair standing up on my arms because, like I said, I've seen this look before, and she is reminding me of her dad, Bulldog Hanover. Great to see for Jack Darling.
And you mentioned Red Beach 1 as well, Chestnut Daughter of Cattle Wash, and you were saying that something you noticed, that he's throwing a number of chestnut offspring as well.
Yeah, it's something we used to see probably 40, 45 years ago. There was tons of chestnuts around. Haven't seen too many lately, but the ones that I have seen, as far as the 2- and 3-year-olds, a lot of them happen to be Cattle Wash.
So it was kind of like two individual races going on there. The top 2 were a little bit ahead of the others here this morning, and you'll see, I'm sure, a lot of the other ones coming back. They just kind of wanted to rate their own miles, I'm sure, and we'll see them step up in the coming weeks as well. But an early statement, perhaps, from Daya that she's ready to hit the racetrack in pari-mutuel action as well.
I think so, and there's that beautiful chestnut. I've always had a thing for chestnuts. My uncle raced a really nice mare, likely his best mare, Natasha Beauty, and anytime I've seen a chestnut, I cheer them on. And when she walked out here on Post Parade, Greg, she certainly caught my eye. I'm happy to see her stick close with that Bulldog filly nearing the finish, and great to see.
First good chestnut I remember, you'd probably remember this name, Maxwell Almahurst.
Oh, yes.
Free-for-aller in the Maritimes.
Indeed.
I think of Yankee Paco.
Yes.
Won the Hambletonian comes to mind as well.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got 3 more left to go. When we come back, we are back on the trot from Woodbine Mohawk Park.
The London Classic Yearling Sale, Canada's premier standardbred auction, returns this October to the Western Fair District Agriplex. The nation's leading consigners choose the London Classic, offering hundreds of yearlings by many of the sport's leading sires, all under one roof at one of North America's best venues. Recent sale graduates include Canada's Rookie Pacing Colt of the Year, Stonebridge Wizard, O'Brien Award finalist Paquette, and O'Brien Award winning double millionaire Logan Park. The London Classic Yearling Sale, where your dollar goes further and where champions are found. Find out more at londonclassic.ca.
Preferred Equine Online has proven time and time again to be the industry's online provider, selling the highest priced horses in all categories online, including racehorses, broodmares, yearlings, weanlings, and stallion shares. Full service, trusted and transparent. Contact Preferred for your online sales needs at www.preferredequineonline.com or call 914-773-7777.
Welcome back. Getting set for another group of trotters here, a field of 7 to go to the post in here. And a couple of London sale graduates competing here. Sugar Slim Daisy, number 3, muscle mass filly. Went through the ring for $16,000 last year. Sibling to $230,000 winner Horse Trader is the daughter of Muscle Mass. And D.A. Merlot, number 7, from the Dean and Ashley Wilson consignment from last year. And this one is a daughter of Mabel Kipp. So this is the first foal of this one. This was a $45,000 purchase last year. And another from the Blake McIntosh Brigade. She's a daughter of Green Manalishi in this field. And then you go to the other end of the spectrum, Upgrade, $350,000 Harrisburg purchase. This one sent out by trainer Matt Bax. Going to be a busy day at the busy morning at the office, I should say, for Matt. The Bax stable, of course, one of the greatest names in the trotting ranks here over the years, and they come with a big group every season of top level performers, and they took a bit of a plunge on this one, the ownership group with Upgrade. This one, a son of or daughter of Green Manalishi, I should say, as mentioned, $350,000 US, and we'll see here. So Matt Bax busy here, 4 starters here this morning, and they do a wonderful job with the trotters.
Indeed, this one, as we're seeing on the monitors, part of the Matt Bax Brigade this morning, and Green Manalishi, 4 of them in here, Greg, but the Bax outfit certainly has had some fabulous success with the trotters over the years.
And I was a little bit off there. $300,000 US purchase, I should say. And Al Libfeld, Brad Grant teaming up in the ownership of this one. And I think with a filly, and you take a plunge like that, and you've always got that option down the road with the kind of family she has, that you're going to have some value certainly as a potential broodmare. But for now, they're thinking a racing career, and this is the first step for her, as is the case with all 7 in this group. And we'll go back up to Mark McKelvey. And Mark, been some eye-catching efforts so far this morning. We could see something similar again here.
Absolutely. Some good-looking efforts, like you mentioned, and some trotting fillies here with plenty of pedigree to indicate that they could go on to something real strong, including that 5 Upgrade that you talked about. Number 1, Miss Mass Appeal, is a daughter of Muscle Mass. The 2, Spanish Bay, Green Manalishi. 3 is Slim Daisy. That's a Muscle Mass. She was a $16,000 London Classic buy. 4 is Goldilocks Hanover, Tactical Landing filly, $14,000 out of Harrisburg. 5 is Upgrade, Green Manalishi filly, $300,000 US at Harrisburg. 6 is Kennedy Hanover, Green Manalishi filly, that one out of the Harrisburg sale for $53,000 US. And 7 is D.A. Merlot, Green Manalishi filly, $45,000 out of London. Doug McNair drives the 1 Miss Mass Appeal for Greg McNair, 2 Spanish Bay, Bob McClure for Joe McIsaac, 3 Slim Daisy, Trevor Henry for Kyle Bossens, 4 Goldilocks Hanover, James McDonald for Desiree Jones, make it Gino Toscani driving. 5 is Upgrade, Matt Bax trains and drives, 6 Kennedy Hanover, James McDonald for Blake McIntosh, and 7 is D.A. Merlot, Tyler Borth for Blake McIntosh. The field is 7, set to go, qualifier number 10. And they're off and trotting. Going away well will be Goldilocks Hanover. Off stride went the 2 Spanish Bay. Away at the rails, Miss Mass Appeal. Also off stride was the 6 Kennedy Hanover. And here on the outside comes Upgrade, pointed to the lead. Upgrade strides out to the front. Second is Miss Mass Appeal. Goldilocks Hanover is in third. Fourth then is D.A. Merlot. Getting in behind that one will be Slim Daisy as he let that Henry let that rival get in front. And then we're back to our breakers as it will be Spanish Bay. And the last one, Kennedy Hanover. 31-1 was the opening split, and it is Upgrade. So Upgrade, the big ticket as a yearling, this daughter of Green Manalishi. She leads them by a couple of lengths as tightening up second will be Miss Mass Appeal. Third is Goldilocks Hanover. Fourth is D.A. Merlot. And then racing in fifth, that is going to be Slim Daisy. And then we're going back to Spanish Bay and Kennedy Hanover. Approaching the midway point, Upgrade is the leader, and it's Upgrade and backs by the half in 102-3. So off a 31-1 opener, second quarter got trotted in 31-2. It is still Upgrade the leader. Got a couple of lengths on Miss Mass Appeal in second. Goldilocks Hanover is in third. D.A. Merlot remains fourth. Right behind that one, fifth is Slim Daisy. It's about 15 or 20 lengths back to Spanish Bay and well out of its Kennedy Hanover. Upgrade by a pair at 3/4 in a time of 1:33-1. So here they come to the top of the stretch, and Upgrade should kick it up now, trying to sprint away from Miss Mass Appeal in second. Goldilocks Hanover still holding their third. D.A. Merlot is at the inside fourth, and trying to finish up at the back there, that is Slim Daisy in fifth. Upgrade still leading it. Miss Mass Appeal not really losing ground late, but not getting any closer. It's Upgrade to take it. Miss Mass Appeal was second. Third went to Goldilocks Hanover, followed by D.A. Merlot and Slim Daisy. 2:01-4 for Upgrade.
Upgrade passing the first test of her young career. Daughter of Green Manalishi all the way on the front end. 2:01-4 at first asking. 28-3 final quarter. Miss Mass Appeal in a good runner-up effort for this one. And there it is. Matt Bax again in the driver's seat. $300,000 Harrisburg yearling purchase. And under just kind of keeping her mind on business in here. Miss Mass Appeal, solid runner-up. I think, about a length and a half, 2 lengths off all the way, and certainly held her own in that fast final quarter. As we have 2 more left to go here this morning on Primetime Racing. There's a look at the winner, Upgrade, making her way back to the paddock area. Green Manalishi from the Goodmare Uptown Classic. She a Daughter of Credit winner. So Al Libfeld, Brad Grant teaming up in the ownership here for Team Bax, as they will, I'm sure, have big plans for this filly going forward this season. All right, we'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have a special guest with 2 more left to go on this Thursday morning from Woodbine Mohawk Park.
O'Brien Award Breeder of the Year, Tara Hills, is home to harness racing's most exciting young stallions. Green Manalishi's first crop has taken Ontario and the Grand Circuit by storm. It includes Peaceful Way winner Mona Lishi. With World champion Cattle Wash has seen multiple New Jersey Sire Stake winners from his first crop, including final winning filly Reckless Abandon. His 2024 yearlings are eligible to the Ontario Sire Stakes. Don't miss your chance to buy one of their sons or daughters this fall. For more, visit TaraHills.com.
I'm awfully glad I won.
The Hamiltonian, it's one of the most prestigious races. It's quite a thrill. It's one of the biggest thrills of my life.
We delivered. The horse delivered. It was amazing. I can't believe it.
I am stunned. I'm absolutely stunned.
This is obviously the pinnacle.
It's just something that I can't explain.
This is just an absolute dream come true.
It feels good now, but I'm sure it's going to feel even better tomorrow.
For me to do it, this is my moment.
I might have got a little excited.
Going to look at the horses who we will get a look at in race number 11 in a moment. 2 more left to go on this Thursday morning as you're watching weekend number 2, day 1 of the Rookie Showcase on Primetime Racing. I'm going to welcome in Casey Coleman, who's made a little trip north of the border and you wanted to get into some good weather here. Obviously, you brought a little bit of it with you from Florida.
Yeah, today's not too bad. It looks on the weekend not as nice as I would like, but today is pretty nice out here right now.
And you've got your eye on a few today. We had a few that we've seen with the LD moniker owned by the Dumaine stable. So just tell us about your affiliation with them.
Yeah, I've trained for them for quite a while. Mark Dumaine usually just has his own name down, like you'll see on Nijinsky and a bunch of my other horses. It says Mark Dumaine, but they just went to the farm name with LDs. And we qualified 3 fillies this morning. Pretty happy with everybody. We got one colt we really like that's going to go tomorrow, LD's Hunter. We got high hopes on him. See how things go, but yeah. So.
What when you were purchasing those horses, what are and we've read about your philosophy and whatnot, but remind us, what types of things are you really looking for when you're trying to find those diamonds in the rough?
Myself, they have to have a big ass end. That's where all the power comes from. Big shoulder, big ass end, smart head, sharp eye. I like to have a big throat, long barrel. I don't care if they're big or small, as long as they have a very long barrel. And just a smart horse. I don't like seeing the ones that they're just dumb when you're looking at them. I don't like those horses. But good conformation, standing correctly. There's a lot that goes into it.
And when you guys watched the horses qualify this morning, what are you trying to get a read on in terms of whether or what I guess your immediate game plan will be after today with them?
We always qualify twice, so today we pretty much trained a little bit quicker than they pretty much qualify usually. James qualifies most of them. Dougie went with one for us this morning. We always just duck them. We don't care about the speed on the first qualifier. Make sure they're coming a good last quarter or last eighth, and so far everybody's done that pretty handily. They'll come back again next week as long as they're sound and healthy and go a little bit more speed, but today is just all about learning. All of Anthony's have never been to Mohawk. This is their first time being to Mohawk, so they're seeing the grandstand, the flag, shipping, the paddock. It's all brand new to them, so just a good learning experience today.
Yep. Now, it was a year ago this time that Nijinsky won the Pepsi North America Cup and what a campaign he had. Just your thoughts on how he's come back this season and kind of what the overall plan's going to be if everything goes right.
Yeah, if everything goes right, he's fully staked. He stayed here in Toronto this winter before I was trained him back in the winter. Anthony's had him the entire time and trained him back at Classy Lane. He says he's trained back fantastic. He's been sharp, sound, healthy, and he looks like $1 million. I was in the barn there yesterday and seen him for the first time in a while, and he looks absolutely fantastic. He's in to go here Saturday, drew a good spot, and he's staked in all the big dances, so if he's good enough, we'll be there to give him a go.
Yep. Pepsi North America Cup weekend. You've been fortunate to have a couple of winners in that event. What's it mean to be here on this weekend, and what's that race meant to you and your career?
It's been an amazing race. The first time I won it was with Sports Writer, and it just totally put me on the map big time. Winning it with Sports Writer, I remember I was pretty much in the middle of the racetrack with him coming down the lane that night when he got across the wire, and it's the pinnacle, and the grandstand will be absolutely packed here. Anthony's got a real good shot with Light Up the World and American Ideal here on Saturday night, and once I seen he had him in there, and I knew Ninja would be racing the babies qualifying, I said I better come up and support his team and see how they hopefully can go in the winner's circle again with them.
And how proud must you be to see a lot of the horses you campaigned go on to be really long-term top stallions, and again today we're seeing some of the offspring of Sports Writer, for example, competing again.
Yeah, like I say, I've been thrilled with all the boys. Sports Writer, American Ideal with his colt. But there's been a lot of nice Better Than Cheddars coming. I'm still not down. I know a lot of people are down on my man Bet in Line. I'm still not down on him yet, and he's going to be in Ontario here now, so I'm still have hopes for him. And Mick Wicked, all of them have been doing a pretty good job on the track.
For sure. Well, listen, thanks for taking a few minutes, and enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
That's Casey Coleman, again, involved with several of the 2-year-olds that were competing here. Of course, you'll be excited to watch Nijinsky on Pepsi North America Cup night. Last year's winner of that event, he'll be competing in the Mohawk Gold Cup, part of the huge program here tomorrow evening. But we've got a group of pacers going to the post here, field of 6 fillies in this spot. We mentioned off the top, but Century Pharaoh, we're going to get a first look at his offspring, Stallion, standing at Sealster Farms. He was 1 for 1. He clicked right off the bat earlier today with Lavender Sealster, and Pownell Bay Bobby, the second from that stallion, going postward here, will leave from post 6 for his conditioner in this spot. PNG Shadow, Dr. Ian Moore, he's going to be in the driver's seat post 2 for that Daughter of Cattle Wash. Here's Mark McKelvey with the call of qualifier number 11.
Thank you so much, Greg. Yes, a field of 6, 1 Venus and Serena, Stay Hungry filly, $50,000 Lexington Select grad, Scott McEnany trains, Trevor Henry drives. 2 PNG Shadow is a cattle wash filly, Dr. Ian Moore trains and drives. 3 is Talbot Kristen, cattle wash filly, Bob McClure for John Pentland. $45,000 U.S. purchase out of Harrisburg. 4 Lions on the Beach, Better's Delight filly, Tony Beaton trains. Driver's going to be Jonathan Drury. $20,000 U.S. out of Harrisburg. 5 is McMira, McWicked filly, another Beaton trainee, James McDonald steers. And 6 is Pownell Bay Bobby, Century Farrow filly, Kyle Fellows trains, Louis Waugh on the bike. This was a $17,000 purchase out of the London Classic. The field is 6 set to go. Today's 11th qualifier. They're off and pacing, and it's going to be PNG Shadow that fires the first pitch out of there. On the outside comes Pownell Bay Bobby, and that one going to maybe drop into the 2 hole. We'll wait and see, as Talbot Kristen is right there 3rd, followed by Lions on the Beach in 4th, back to McMira in 5th, and Venus and Serena. So it is PNG Shadow that does have the lead, as pocketing up is Pownell Bay Bobby 2nd. 3rd then is Talbot Kristen as they come to the opening quarter in a time. Off the 32-1 opener, PNG Shadow is going to stretch this lead out. So PNG Shadow, slow opening quarter there for the Doc Moore trainee, and he says, let's go here in the second split. Opens up by 6. Second is Pownell Bay Bobby. 2 lengths or so back to Talbot Kristen in 3rd. 4th racing up the backside, Lions on the Beach, followed by McMira 5th, and 6th is Venus and Serena. So a 4-length or so lead here for PNG Shadow as the cattle wash filly comes by the half in a time of 1:01.4. They went the second quarter in 29:3 after that 32-1 opener, and onto the far turn, PNG Shadow, strong looking cattle wash filly. She continues to cruise. Second there is Pownell Bay Bobby, and then it's about 8 lengths or so going back to Talbot Kristen 3rd. 4th is Lions on the Beach. Inside 5th is McMira. And to the outside, underway is Venus and Serena. So it's still PNG Shadow with that clear advantage at 3 quarters in 1:30.3. Top of the stretch, 28-4 3rd quarter. Good middle half here from PNG Shadow. And she is on top by 6 coming to the 8th pole. Second is Pownell Bay Bobby. Into 3rd goes Lions on the Beach. Far outside's Venus and Serena from Talbot Kristen and McMira, but it's all PNG Shadow, and she is strong down to the wire. PNG Shadow, great performance, wins this one by 7 lengths. Second was Pownell Bay Bobby. Outside 3rd, Venus and Serena. 1:57.3, 27 seconds home for PNG Shadow.
Incredible effort there from PNG Shadow. That's big final half speed. 27 seconds on the end for this strapping Daughter of Cattle Wash. And we're starting to see a bit of a trend there as well. We've seen a lot of his first crop, first full crop in Ontario and over the last 2 weeks. And they're making some noise, that is for sure. And this filly looked very good for Doc Moore, who did the driving himself this morning. There's the runner-up, Pownell Bay Bobby, the second from Century Farrow to go this morning. Both of them looking very good. And then a host of challengers across the track for 3rd. But no doubt about the winner, PNG Shadow. Another statement-type winning effort here this morning. We've had, I think it's safe to say, versus last week, we've had more of the head-turning variety of efforts today.
Yeah, it's amazing, Greg. Here's another filly that did progressively quicker quarters, and I looked up on the way to the half, and I said, well, he's letting her roll a bit. Well, it was just a bit, just 29-3, and then she got a little quicker, 28-4, but he really let her roll through the stretch, 27 flat on the end, and yeah, what a nice motor under the hood of PNG Shadow, the Daughter of Cattle Wash.
55-4 back half as well. And she's a cattle wash. She's a daughter of Lady Arthur. She was a fast daughter of Arthur Blue Chip that Doc Moore campaigned. And this is a homebred.
It is too.
Homebred. So the ownership group obviously, thought that mare had a lot of talent, kept her around, and went to the mating of Cattle Wash here, and it looks like it's going to be a good mating from what we saw so far.
This ownership group, too, they've been together for a long time now, and it's great to see that it looks like they're going to have a fun season with this filly.
Yep. Dr. Ian Moore, of course, owns with the Argema Group Limited from Bathurst, New Brunswick. Of course, Serge Savard, the ex-NHLer, Serge Savard, part of that longtime ownership group. They, had great success, of course, with Shadow Play and others, and PNG Shadow. She's got stakes material written all over her. It's early to say, but I think you can tell nowadays they come to the track, they immediately can tell you whether they're going to be a player at a certain level. I mean, when you get to that point and then they're in against others that can kind of do what they can do, then that's what separates the men from the boys, as they say. But in this case, I mean, she's shown enough today that that you're dealing at a stakes competitor of some form.
We mentioned Dr. Ian Moore, Argema Group Limited, going back a number of years, and maybe their first together might have been one of our favorites. We remember well from back in the day, the Paper Maker.
I do remember him well.
Yeah,
I called him winning the Governor's Plate back in Summerside. Of course, he won the Gold Cup and Saucer, the most prestigious race in Atlantic Canada, and one of the most prestigious anywhere in North America, for that matter. So that would have been a big thrill back at that time for Doc Moore, and it's probably where the relationship started for them, and it's been a very lucrative partnership. Doc's been, of course, one of the top trainers in the sport for a number of years now. And PNG Shadow, one of many this morning that have looked so good. So what will the last one have in store? One more group to look at here this morning, getting ready for a group of filly pacers. Let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, they'll be getting set to go for the 12th and final.
All sports dynasties share one thing.
Home run! Another world championship!
They dominate. Hanover Shoe Farms, the most successful breeder of Hambletonian champions, producing an impressive total of 11 winners, has dominated the race. Purchase Hanover yearlings at Harrisburg. Hanover Shoe Farms, a standard bred dynasty.
It doesn't get any better than that! Wow!
Winback Farm of Ontario is home to outstanding sires, including a three-time millionaire pacer tattoo artist who is new in 2025, the last great son of the legendary Some Beach Somewhere and multiple stakes champion Beachglass, Meadowlands Pace and Ontario Sire Stakes champion Lawless Shadow, and the richest pacing stallion in all of harness racing history, the great Hall of Famer Mick Wicked. Also standing at Winback Farm, Archangel, Better Than Cheddar, Betting Line, My MVP, and Trixton. For more information, visit winbackfarm.com.
Stepping onto the track for today's 12th and final. Hope you've been enjoying the coverage this morning of the Rookie Showcase, the baby races, 2-year-old qualifying events from Woodbine Mohawk Park. It's the fillies today, 12 races. A big thank you again to all of our fantastic sponsors. And here's Dr. Ian Moore coming right back. He'll be in the driver's seat aboard another daughter of Cattle Wash, and her name is Jay. Jay went through the London Classic yearling sale last year, bred by Sealster Farms, and I can't recall, I should know this off the top of my head, but I can't recall. I'm going to have to find out afterward. Would have sold under a different name. Was purchased by Wilma and James McKenzie, and they share ownership with Paul Chapman. And Wilma and James, of course, great folks, purchased a number of horses, and they always like to rename them, and they go with that single name.
Yes.
And they had the mare of this one, Jan. That rock and roll Hanover mare was a real nice stakes type filly for for Wilma and James, and was bred to Cattle Wash here, and again a $95,000 purchase from the London Classic sale. So Doc Moore, let's see if he can come right back. He's driving this one. If she's anywhere as close to what the last one looked like, he's going to have a pretty nice tandem heading into stake season.
Wouldn't that be something to see the Doc have the big 1-2 punch on the end of this rookie showcase for the fillies?
And speaking of Doc Moore, the man who campaigned Shadow Play, we're going to see a couple from that sire in this spot. Those being number 3, Amazing Addie, from the John Pentland barn. D.A. Black Beauty, Greg McNair sends out this one. She was a bargain basement purchase last year at the London Classic, $13,000. This daughter of Shadow Play, post 6 for her in this field of 7. Team Jameson's got Militia Speed back for a second qualifier. She was a winner last week, and she's another daughter of Cattle Wash who looked good and will likely try and, put on a bit of speed here this morning.
That's one thing I've seen from the entries. When I see these 2-year-old qualifiers in to go, I want to go to Standard Canada, check the entries, and I'm looking at the sires. Tons of Cattle Washes around this year.
Yeah, well, he certainly made some noise last year in New Jersey. He dominated in the program there, and his first full crop hitting the racetrack here in Ontario this year. There was a lot of anticipation, and they've been looking good so far. One more time, let's go upstairs to Mark McKelvey with the call.
All right, thank you very much, Greg and Sugar. And we wrap things up with a field of 7 in our 12th qualifier. 2-year-old pacing fillies. One is Jay, daughter of Cattle Wash. Doc Moore trains and drives, $95,000 London Classic buy. 2 is Midnight Bridget, betting line filly. Blake McIntosh trains Billy Davison the bike. This was a London Classic buy for $25,000. 3 is Amazing Addie, Shadow Play filly. John Pentland trains. It'll be Bob McClure steering. $11,000 US at a Lexington Select sale. 4, A Clean Deal, Cattle Wash filly trained by Kyle Fellows with Louis Waugh. $20,000 US from Lexington. 5, Front and Center, McWicked filly. Tony B trains, James McDonald drives. $27,000 out of Lexington. 6 is D.A. Black Beauty, Shadow Play filly trained by Greg McNair with Doug McNair steering. $13,000 London Classic buy. And 7 is Militia Speed, Cattle Wash filly. This one is going to be driven by Jody Jameson for Carl Jameson. Here we go. Final qualifier today. Field of 7 for race number 12. Set to go. They're off and pacing. Outside Speed being flashed here by D.A. Black Beauty and Militia Speed. Coming down the center is A Clean Deal. To the inside, Midnight Bridget is going to get away in 4th. 5th will be Front and Center, then followed by Amazing Addie, and the rail starter, Jay, is the trailer. She sits 7th as they're into the first bend. D.A. Black Beauty for McNair out in front, and this Shadow Play filly takes him to the opening quarter in a time of 29-1. D.A. Black Beauty by a length and a half. Following very closely, though, is Militia Speed. This is a Cattle Wash filly that was a winner in her qualifying debut a week ago. 2nd, Militia Speed, 2 lengths back. Then in 3rd, that is A Clean Deal. 4th up the backstretch is Midnight Bridget, followed in 5th by Front and Center. Then we're back to Amazing Addie, and from the back, Jay is now passing that rival, so she gets ahead of 1 before they hit the half. Up to the midway point, D.A. Black Beauty. By the midway point in 58-4. Second quarter 29-3. D.A. Black Beauty out in front. 2nd, Militia Speed. In 2nd is continuing to be A Clean Deal. Jay, she's making up ground on the outside, so she was the trailer into the first turn, and all of a sudden she's coming up after the lead. Off the wood will come Midnight Bridget as that one picks up the cover of Jay. Then it's Front and Center, and last is Amazing Addie. Jay on the outside, nearly to the wheel of D.A. Black Beauty, who's taken them this far, 129-1, 3/4 clocking, and they'll spin for home. D.A. Black Beauty, Jay on the outside. On cover is Midnight Bridget. In the 2-hole trip has been Militia Speed. They're coming to the 8th pole. Jay has taken the lead. Trying to battle back is D.A. Black Beauty. Rail opens up now for Militia Speed to try and shoot on through. Midnight Bridget far outside. A Clean Deal's got a good late kick as well. Good finish here. It's Jay. Militia Speed. A Clean Deal flying. Jay will take it. A Clean Deal was 2nd. 3rd was Militia Speed. 4th was Midnight Bridget in 157-1.
Well, a totally different approach this time, but the end result, the same here for Doc Moore. He takes the last 2 races of the session with Daughters of Cattle Wash at Jay this time, and that was ultra impressive. I mean, she got away last, a long uncovered grind, and right when you would think she'd get a little bit tired, maybe at the midway point of the stretch, good filly coming at her on the inside, she finds another gear and just was not going to let that one pass. And then you had a clean deal, another Daughter of Cattle Wash rallying to be a very good second in there. So 1-2-3 finish for that sire here, and a bit of a statement to end the day. So Doc Moore leading into what might be what he hopes is going to be a good weekend for him. He's got, of course, 2 finalists this year in the Pepsi North America Cup as well.
He's got to be feeling good about this upcoming weekend. He's got to be feeling good about the upcoming season for these 2-year-olds that we saw today. You know, this filly was grabbing on pretty good behind the gate, Greg. I was hoping, you know, she'd just keep it together, and then they left, and she stopped grabbing, and she's sitting last, and I'm thinking, I wonder, you know, if she might have took a little bit out of her grabbing on so much behind the gate. But you know what? She settled in nicely, and when she began to roll, she just kept on picking them off from last. And like you, I wonder if she was going to be able to sustain that rally and keep on going. And she did, and even was able to hold off a couple of speedsters on the end.
As Curtis McDonald, our producer Curtis, said in our ear, as he was coming through the stretch, Doc Moore recapturing some of the glory from back in 1988 when he won the Gold Cup and Saucer with the paper maker. Getting it done here with Jay, sweeping the last 2 qualifying efforts. And what a nice luxury to be able to sit behind them yourself in these qualifiers. He can see if there's any more sort of fine-tuning to do with these horses before they get ready to embark on racing action. But from what we saw, at least with the last 2, it doesn't appear to be much left to do.
Yeah, and you know, Dr. Ian Moore, he's been doing it for a long time, you know, late 70s with Saunders Glory back home, and he's kept those same colors. I know when I first started going to the races, he always had the best-looking harness on the horses, horses like a Sea Captain, Macho George back home. They all had the white, but now he's got that beautiful baby blue sulky, so it's not hard to find those Dr. Ian Moore starters on the tracks of Ontario here.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a nice group looking ahead to this season. There's Jody Jamieson. He had a good morning as well. I think he had three or four winners. There's a nice filly as well, Malicious Speed, good runner-up effort. I just wonder, you know, filly like that sitting in the pocket, going to the inside, and you know, we don't even know if you know, if there's a little bit of greenness factor there, and she might have been like, you know what, this is unfamiliar to me. I'm not sure I want to pass on the inside. Who knows? And that's what this is all about. As we said, a morning like this is to get that racing experience under the belt. Might have been the first time ever she was asked to go up the inside of one, right? Possibly. That's what I'm thinking. And yeah, so that, I guess what I'm saying is don't read too much into the fact that that she didn't go by here today. Plus, I think the winner, Jay, is a very nice filly. I believe so. The $95,000 price tag at the London Classic Yearling Sale last fall, well-meant purchase by the connections there, and great-looking daughter of Cattle Wash. The one that finished third in there, a clean deal, she had a big burst on the end of it. Big time. Yeah, you know, we're sounding a bit like a broken record, and we're probably going to over the next couple of weeks. But you know, it's early, but from what we've seen to this point in time, we're getting a really good indication that Cattle Wash could make some noise here in the provincial program on the pacing side for sure. We saw a nice Bulldog Hanover filly win earlier as well. So, you know, some of those new faces in the Stallion ranks going to make an impact and just add to what is already a tremendously deep program here in Ontario, and just makes it fun to think about what is going to be this summer. We want to thank you for pinch hitting today. You were coming down just to watch, but we put you into duty today. Mark McKelvey, another wonderful job calling the action upstairs today as well. I want to remind you, we are back with more races tomorrow. Tomorrow it's the boys' turn for the rookies, and we're not sure how many we're going to have for that, but those entries will be posted soon. We're getting word there's going to be 13 qualifiers, another busy session here tomorrow, and that's just going to kickstart us into a huge weekend here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Of course, live racing tomorrow night. And looking ahead to Saturday, the 13 race extravaganza, Pepsi North America Cup night, one of the biggest programs in North America all season long. Hope you can make it to the track. You've got a big night planned. The weather forecast is looking a bit better. But in the event you can't make it out, we've got you covered. We're going to have coverage, 1 hour coverage of the NA Cup, the Fan Hanover on the undercard at the Great Chantilly, going post-raid in that. That'll be at 10 o'clock. A 1 hour bonus coverage prior to that on our social media platforms as well. The racing program will be on Game Plus TV as part of PrimeTime Racing's coverage this season. And what a way to kick that season off with the Pepsi North America Cup Saturday night. So we hope you enjoyed the coverage here this morning. Make sure to get up good and early tomorrow, get the coffee on, and join us again at 9:15 for day number 2 of weekend number 2 of the Rookie Showcase. We'll see you then. So long from PrimeTime TV.